Yeah, this is Prophet Marshall Occurrence. So, this message is going to be about ignorant black people and racist white people was the downfall of America. Ignorant black people and racist white people was the downfall of America. You can look at all this stuff going on with Hispanic and Latinos, but up until now, they was basically people that mind their business and had a strong work ethic, and it wasn't them that destroyed America. You can try to blame them now, but it's already destroyed anyway. The main two races of people, it's important to put the blame where it belongs. Because it's not the Chinese people here, is it? So why should they be blamed for it? Why should Chinese people that's in America be blamed for all this stuff and they got no part of it? Why should Jamaican people be blamed for what America has become? They ain't had nothing to do with it. But white people did, didn't they? Yes, they did. But African Americans did, didn't they? Yes, they did. See my point? Jamaicans didn't cause all of this country to fall down. They had no part in it. You can't even gauge what part Jamaicans or Haitians or Ethiopians. You can't even tell me what they did to America, any damage they did to America. Chinese people, show me the damage that Chinese people did to America. What damage they do? So Chinese people really didn't do anything here. Chinese Americans didn't do anything here. No. Indian Americans, Native Americans, both Indian Americans and Native Americans. Did they destroy the country? Did Native Americans destroy the country? No. So they're citizens, right? Right. They're American citizens, but they shouldn't be incorporated to who actually had their hands in destroying this country, right? No, they shouldn't. So you have to put the blame where it belongs. It's not being racist. I mean, I'm just saying, am I going to sit up and blame Native Americans for destroying the country? By saying, Americans destroyed themselves. Well, you have to be a little more specific. Did Americans destroy themselves? Or did black and white people destroy America? Black and white people destroyed America, man. That's who's out there right now against me and you. I guarantee it's a whole bunch of black people and there's a whole bunch of white people. They the main ones. Chinese people didn't do this. Jamaicans didn't do it. Ethiopians didn't do it. So you can't even say all Africans did this and black people and Africans just a problem. No, African Americans are the problem. They the ones out there killing more than any other race of people in America. You can't blame Chinese people for the murder and the killing, can you? You can't blame them, can you? You can't blame Jamaicans, which they're more thoroughbred than most black people. They're more dangerous than most black people. And when they have to defend themselves, right? Right. But they're not out there, right? You notice that? You notice even though Jamaicans are more stronger, dangerous, more thoroughbred, you notice you don't see them in the news. You don't see no Jamaicans in the news. You don't never see no Jamaicans in the news. Because, I'm going to tell you why. Because they have harmony within their tribe. They have harmony in their tribe. They don't fight among themselves. You don't really see them fighting and killing each other. They have harmony as Jamaicans where they don't kill each other in America. You don't see none of that happen. You don't see no Jamaicans on the 5 o'clock news. Oh, Jamaicans killing each other. You don't see none of that. Chinese people killing each other. You don't see that. The main ones you see killing each other is black people and white people. Crazy white people killing each other in their own communities. Killing their families and everything. You don't see Jamaicans killing their families. You don't see no Chinese men really killing their family. You see white people doing crazy stuff, killing their family and kids lately. That's what you've been seeing lately. Show me where Native Americans are killing their kids. Native Americans are killing their own family. You don't see them doing it. So who destroyed this country, whether you like it or not, I'm saying it in a matter of fact fashion. Black people and white people destroyed this country. Black people finally caught up. to being just as corrupt. What you call African Americans, they finally caught up to being just as corrupt as white Americans. This proves it. Everything they're doing right now around me that they don't think I know about, they prove to be just as corrupt as white Americans. Bottom line. Now that's being real. See, the truth is you ain't as real as you project yourself to be. No, you're not, man. Well, how come you ain't come to terms with the facts? Why you don't speak the facts? So you're a compromised version of real. That's why I don't take you seriously. Because until you start talking about black people killing all these people and doing the most killing in the country, who's doing the most killing in the country? If you had to call it, who doing the most killing in the country? White people? White people ain't doing the most killing. Chinese people not doing the most killing. So who's doing the most killing? Black people. They doing the most killing in the United States of America. They doing the most killing. Is it said like that though? Is it understood like this? No, it's not. It's filtered through a biased perspective towards black people. And it's not just said like that. Because of a biased filter that is filtered through when people address it. It ain't gonna be said that black people doing the most killing, but they are. But they are. They doing the most killing in the country right now. And they have been doing so for X amount of time, for decades. Okay, so, but it's not gonna be said like that in a matter of fact way. But everybody say they real. I mean, come on, man, listen. Black people doing all the killing. White people is right behind them. Those two races of people is what destroyed America. I don't care what you're talking about with Hispanic and Latinos. I mean, we all know they was working and minding their business. Times changed. That's what happened. But we are, black people and white people are more consistent with destroying this country. They are. They are. So I put the blame where it belongs. It's black people and white people that destroyed this country. It ain't. Think about how other races of people feel. Like, we didn't have nothing to do with this. We the downfall. We did everything right in America. They gonna talk about their whole ethnicity. How we did. We wasn't out here. We did everything right, and we gotta suffer for what? They gonna conclude on low key. They gonna conclude we gotta suffer for black and white people. That's why we gotta suffer. Trying to be cool, trying to be hard, trying to be mean, trying to be bad. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. That's the hang up they got. They think they bad. All this stuff that's going on, black people think they bad. That's what it boils down to. It's a mentality that is not really even tough half the times, but they think they bad. They think they tough. A lot of them think they tough, and they find out the hard way. They mess around and find out they not as tough as they thought that they project themselves to be. Okay, that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? White people too. White people find out the hard way. You know what I'm saying? All the time. Okay, they find out all the time. You know, you ain't as tough as you think you are. You crash in different ways. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the bottom line is this: black and white people are doing all the killing. They doing all the killing and destroying of this country, and it needs to be said in a straightforward fashion. Listen, let me explain something very clearly. I'm not here, no disrespect, but I'm not here like Charlie Kirk sitting in a chair trying to negotiate and talk with America. That's not my position. Okay? I don't play with you. I don't play with America. I stay armed with something at all times. Okay, that's number one. Number two, I'm not here to entertain you. I'm not here to talk to you. And the way you're sitting back is like I'm here to entertain you or to get your approval. I'm not here to get your approval. Well, imagine me being subject to the approval of people that's destroying this country. You, as black people and white people, are destroying this country. Now imagine me being subject to your opinion. As an incompetent man, imagine me valuing your opinion of what I'm doing and what I'm talking about. But you the main ones destroying the country. It doesn't, come on. You bias. That's the word. Go look up bias and understand definitions. Get your vocabulary up. Understand what you, cause see, if you don't get your vocabulary up, you ain't gonna understand adults in America. You're gonna understand children because you got a low vocabulary. When you get a higher vocabulary, you start understanding the complexity of adulthood, where some of you are just biased. That's the word. A kid can't really be biased because it's not that developed in their head, in their brain. You get older, you start developing different complexities. And though you have to have those things defined. And if you got a low vocabulary as a community, you ain't gonna understand yourself or your community. So when you get your vocabulary up, you understand the complexities of human beings, that now they're more developed than children. So now you got to find more developed definitions of human beings to define what's really going on. Because you ain't going to see it at face value because adults are more complex than children. It's a little more complicated, I guess you could say. And you know what the complication is? I'm going to tell you what the complication is. Your bias towards black people. That's why white people, even most white people, you ain't going to say it how it needs to be said. They doing all the killing. But are all these white people who support black people, are you ever going to say it like it need to be said? Are you going to ever talk about the solutions? Nope, you're not going to talk about it. So then we going to still go through the same situations. Because you're not going to address the elephant in the room that all these black people are the ones doing it. So you're going to remain corny and part of the culture, and you're not going to keep it 100. You're not going to be real. See, at some point, you just got to be real. But you're trying to be cool. Sometimes you can't be cool and real at the same time. And so some people that's super real, they leave everybody behind. They leave the culture behind because, see, you don't want to be real about these real issues. You want to be cool, so you just rather fit in with everybody and just kind of be biased and filter things and all of that. And you're not as real as you project yourself to be. So imagine me valuing your opinion of my authenticity when you're not as real as you supposed to be as a community to address your community for doing all the killing and contradicting itself with going out here killing each other. But then you hollering about somebody doing something to you. You're hollering about somebody saying something about you, but you're doing the worst thing to yourself. You're killing yourself. You can't contradict yourself like that. In this real world we live in, you can't contradict yourself and then sit up and expect somebody to take you seriously. See, that's real. Tupac was real. You know what Tupac said? They say it's the white man I should fear, but it's my own kind doing all the killing here. They say it's the white man I should fear, but it's my own kind doing all the killing here. See, that's real. That's real, buddy. Fake it, cool is this new generation that ain't gonna say what Tupac said, or neither are they gonna hold a world view. That's a whole world view. That statement is a world view. Get your vocabulary up. Go look at what world views are. Go see what world views are. Everybody got them. You just haven't updated yourself to the complexity of adulthood and adults. So you look at people like children, or that they're simple like children. Nobody's simple like children. So you play yourself thinking I'm simple like a child. You play yourself. You play yourself, buddy. You look at me like I'm simple and sit around and stand around like I'm simple. All you're doing is playing yourself. Everything is more complicated than what meets the eye. Okay? All this killing is a contradiction. White people and black people are the main ones that destroyed this country. You can't blame all these other races of people. They can't be put into the equation if they ain't a part significantly of the equation. They're not a significant part of the equation. I'm not going to bring up Jamaicans and what they did to the country. They did what they do. I can't bring up Chinese and what they did to the country. What they do. I can't bring up Native Americans and say what they did to the country. What they do. So is it fair for them to be incorporated by us saying America destroyed itself? No, that's not how it happened. There were some good American citizens that did not destroy this country. So why would you say America? Like I said, I'm not one of these guys that's trying to talk to you like Charlie Kirk and trying to get, because that time is gone. Talking time is gone. This is declaration. Ooh, that's it right there. That's 7 hours. Understand the difference between talking to people and declarations. This is declarations. In fact, it's really not up for debate at all. So it's basically analog instead of dialogue. Get your vocabulary up. Get your vocabulary up, buddy. Get your vocabulary up. This is analog more than dialogue, because it's not up for debate. I mean, what you gonna tell me? See, the prophet gonna talk on the level of analog, because there is no room for dialogue. Black and white people doing all the killing. What you gonna talk about? It's complicated. It's self-explanatory in that context, in that situation. That's self-explanatory. They doing all the killing, black and white people. Black people, number one, were doing all the killing. White people right behind them. And you could talk about Hispanic and Latinos, but they just started in the past 10, 15 years or so really being a problem, a ground level problem in America. They just started being a ground level problem. If you go back 20, 30 years ago, they were people that really kept to themselves collectively in the whole country, right? I'm talking about the whole country. They stayed to themselves, they minded their business, and they stayed out of harm's way. They stayed out the way. Okay? That's why they lasted as long as they did in this country, even being illegal at times, because they was stimulating the economy and staying out the way. They was working hard and nobody really had a problem with it. Even the racist people, because they don't mind working you. They don't mind working you, especially if you're doing jobs that is like slave work anyway. Let's keep it 100. A lot of times, out of desperation, they came from different countries and just doing anything they could do to survive. So even the racist man didn't have a problem with that. Okay, so let's come to terms with it. It's called coming to terms with it. Black and white people destroyed this country. You can't say Americans. When you say Americans, to me, you're saying everybody. Well, Americans destroyed their own country. No, Americans didn't destroy their own country. Black and white people destroyed this own country. Black and white people destroyed their own country. That's who did it. See, when you're more Pacific, you can put the liability where it belongs without blaming everybody. And that's what it is. And see, guess what? You ain't gonna have nobody talk like this. You know why? Because you're trying to be cool with everybody. And you're gonna die like that. You're gonna die trying to be cool with black people. You're gonna die trying to be cool with white people. That's how you're gonna die. You're gonna die trying to be cool with black and white people. So you could never be the true people that tells the truth, because the biggest elephant in the room is all this killing. And you ain't never been complex on the situation. You've been very simplistic on the situation. Talking like children, thinking like children. Where you barely address your people. Oh, well, we gonna do better. That's what everybody say. We need to do better. That sounds like a child. I would hear a child say the same thing. Oh, we need to do better. Couldn't you see a child saying that? A man gonna say, show you the complexities of the situation. Unbiasedly. And that hasn't happened in your community. So it's not stating the obvious when you're biased, because you're not stating the obvious. You'll say stating the obvious, but you won't state this obvious. That part, that's the 7 hour. Okay, people say, well, he's stating the obvious. Well, why aren't you using your influence and power to state the obvious yourself so that things can change? Because you're not stating the obvious. What you're saying is you're saying things through a bias filter where you're not saying it 100. So then you got the Tupacs, and then you got everybody else. If Tupac was here, meaning the black community, the leaders wouldn't even be able to coexist, because he would be the standard. The only reason some of these people, some would say, only reason Jay-Z was even be here is because Pac ain't here. If Pac was here, who would Jay-Z be? Biggie could do it. Biggie is an individual. Jay-Z wouldn't be able to be here if Pac was here, because because he wouldn't be at the top. He wouldn't. Pac would be at the top. Tupac would be at the top. Yes or no? As far as his philosophy in life and how he do those interviews and how he talk about real life, and Jay-Z never did that. Jay-Z never made no videos talking about real life like Tupac did. He didn't. He never talked about he make these he holds the persona of these artists where you want to keep this mystery about yourself. That's a move of an artist where they want to hold back on the community and not do a lot of videos so you can keep this mystery about yourself. That's how artists operate. Tupac came out as a person talking about all this stuff going on, and if he would have been here, that's all we would have been tuning into. If he was here with the internet, you gotta remember, Tupac didn't even make it to the internet. If Tupac would have made it to the internet, he would have been doing all these YouTube videos, lives. You know, Tupac doing the video, yeah, live, come on in. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Tupac doing the video, doing a live, right? Tupac doing a live, yeah, come on in. Yeah, I see you over there. Oh, yeah, well, that's my homie right there. What's up? Come on in. Can't you see Tupac talking about, oh, man, I ain't seen you in a long time. What's up, man? How you doing? Yeah, we about to get this popping. That's how Pac would be, man. Like, and there wouldn't be no room for a lot of people to coexist. Eminem wouldn't be able to coexist with Tupac because he was too much of the essence of black for Eminem to be taken seriously. No. Eminem wouldn't be taken seriously if Tupac was here. I'm trying to show you certain people only are here because Tupac is not here. My point is, man, you know, Tupac would have changed the whole views of the whole community on all these situations. Like even now, you know what I'm saying? Like, because he was already talking about the killing. They say it's the white man I should fear, but it's my own kind doing all the killing here. You don't think he would have kept talking about going down that lane of that worldview? Of course. Of course he would have. That was a worldview, and he would have kept talking about it. He would have kept piggybacking off of that worldview of it's our people that's killing each other and doing all the killing. He said it's my own kind doing all the killing here. Here is what? The hood in America. They say it's the white man I should fear, but it's my own kind doing all the killing here. And some of y'all don't ever say it like that. That's what I'm talking about. Therefore, you never become complex in that worldview at all because you never made that worldview. So you don't even go down that road. You see the problem? You don't even go down the road that Tupac go down. While y'all talking about y'all real like Tupac or whatever, that's only subject to violence. The worldviews of how he feel about black people, you ain't got none of that. You ain't got none of that part of Tupac. That part, that's 7 hours. Yeah, you ain't got none of the part of Tupac where he says my own kind killing, doing all the people killing here. Only Boosie was the only one that shared that same temperament. Boosie is the only one that said it. Boosie said it ain't the white man that's in the bushes with the choppers. It's black people. Everybody know Boosie been very vocal about the quality, the lack of quality of black people. He the only one I give credit for it. He didn't care. He don't care how y'all feel. He the only one that showed the complexity of that same worldview. Everybody else, man, listen, man, they trying to be cool with everybody, man. That's why people don't respect Jay-Z, because Jay-Z ain't gonna really say the truth. He gonna say we all niggas. Yeah, we are all niggas. But let's go beyond that, because that's kind of like a pro-black message, like we all niggas and we all black, and but you not talk about really the complex, the killing that we doing, all the stuff we doing to each other. You're not talking about that. You just basically you saying we all black and it's going down that lane of being black and what that consists of. So that's more of a pro-black perspective, where you're talking about, okay, we black, this, that, and the third, realize who you are, right? That part, which is going on into a pro-black perspective. But at the same time, you're not addressing, as Jay-Z, all this killing that's going on, all this stuff going on. Nah, you're not doing that. You chose to be cool. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. He chose to be cool. It's a lot of people like that. But you don't get the same respect as the Pacs and all them different types of people that, no, he ain't gonna get that respect because you don't play. You ain't gonna get the respect of Pac and Boosie. I respect Boosie more than Jay-Z. Jay-Z got more money, maybe, but Boosie, I respect his mind more than Jay-Z's. You know what I'm saying? Y'all give more respect to Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying, just off the strength of him being a hustler, because the truth is his lyrics ain't really, his bars ain't really that potent like that. I mean, it's real life, but it's not, to say he got them witty bars like a New Yorker, I mean, it's really not. It's not like that, and you know that. If you had to say he's a real MC, bar for bar, far as being clever, it's not. It's just kind of like a guy holding the conversation, and we just got used to this what I call big dog persona, where he just sitting back as a big dog MCing on the mic. We got used to that persona, and we gauged that as the best because of this persona of that he projected as the big dog. I call it big dog rap. Birdman do it too, but Birdman also speak his mind. Birdman, I'm not saying it's wrong, but Birdman got the big dog talk on the songs too. But it's real. It's big. Birdman is still in the streets, so I respect Birdman more of a gangster than Jay-Z. Man, Birdman don't play no games with these people. He pulled up on the Breakfast Club. Jay-Z would never do that. Jay-Z would go and talk to them secretly with they with their managers and all of that. You know what I'm saying? He would talk to them on the phone. Birdman pulled up like a G. That's what I'm saying. So if you talk about the top of the gangsters, I'm gonna respect Birdman over everybody else you talk about. Jay-Z just got money. Okay, he gets respect for being a hustler. Okay, we give him that. But as far as like the intellectual part, y'all give him everything. The intellectual part, out here like Birdman, he ain't out here like Birdman. He ain't out here like Birdman. Birdman chose to be with the streets instead of going to this next level of professionalism where you kind of compromise that. He chose to not compromise that street persona and go to these higher levels that Jay-Z went to. Where you can't project that Birdman persona everywhere Jay-Z go. And within everything Jay-Z do. Birdman is the top gangster. Ain't nobody 100 like that. Where you don't care nothing about the Breakfast Club and all of that, and all of them lames out there talking out of pocket and all of that, and they put their mouth on somebody that's 100. I feel them totally. On that. I mean, that's not your lane. You're not gonna be the one that do anything in the street. So why is you talking like that? You know what I'm saying? You know, everybody's subject to criticism, but you got to be careful what type of criticism that you putting out. It's good. Listen, my criticism is 100 on all these rappers and people like that, and I'm balanced. You can see it comes together. Okay, I can get that. Birdman ain't nobody out there like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Like Pac and Birdman would have been like Pac and Suge. Pac would have went with Birdman. Yeah, he would have went with Birdman. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I can see that. Boosie too. It's the world views, man. It's the world views, man. You know what I'm saying? Quite frankly, a lot of New Yorkers got corny, man, after the 2000s. You know what I'm saying? That's the truth, man. The whole hood, the whole community in New York got corny compared to the South. The South was how everybody think now, as far as the culture and everything. After Master P and Cash Money, I mean, everybody started thinking like them. The South. The South took over as far as mentality. If you want to talk about the streets, I mean, ain't nobody really trying to be like New Yorkers no more. We used to try to be like New Yorkers. Ain't nobody trying to do that no more. It don't appeal to nobody no more like that. Okay? It don't. I mean, you as a New Yorker, one of y'all may appeal, but collectively, New York don't appeal to the community no more. No. Too many people. It's ran over. It's like a circus here in New York. That's what it is. What appeals is Chicago. New York trying to be Chicago with all that drill rap. Drill came from Chicago. Drill came from Chicago. Now you would think, if you ain't know any better, if you're older, you might not know any better. You would think drill came from New York. You would think that's their wave. If you didn't know any better, you sat around with these young dudes, you would think drill came from New York. You would think that's a style they started. Man, listen, I know the real history, man. You can't listen, man. The prophet know about drill and everything. Drill came from Chicago. From the Midwest. That's where it came from. And then New York tried to ride that whole wave, and it looked corny to me, man, because it ain't the same environment. That's why. So it's going to fit perfectly tailor-made for Chicago with the whole drill sound. Think about what I'm saying. And that's their environment. Their environment is 100 way harder than New York's environment. So it's gonna fit better, you know what I'm saying, than these New York dudes that ain't really, you know what I'm saying, that their geographics is not like Chicago. So drill ain't gonna sound like Chicago drill. It's just not. And they not gonna have the same energy, man. So, that's the bottom line. They ain't gonna have the same energy. And you gonna realize it. That's why I don't even listen to no drill outside of really Chicago. When I did listen to it, I used to listen to Chief Keef, and that's how I started listening to drill and all that on my own before everybody else really got into it. Before it really took off to New York, I was already listening to like Chief Keef and everything. You know what I'm saying? And because their mentality is 100. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically it. So it's like you gotta realize, man, with these other street people out here. They get on the corny part where they try to instigate things. I call them street nerds. A street nerd is people that is in the culture that study all the streets and everything. But they think they can try you because you're not Birdman or you're not Jay-Z. They think they can try you because you're a street nerd and you know all this stuff. But this person you trying don't seem to equate to this stuff. But that's not a street person. A street person, listen, I respect everybody because you don't know who's gonna kill you. You don't know who you don't know who is a threat to you. But if you're a street nerd, you gonna look to all these dudes, these steppers that you think is harder than everybody else, and you wind up getting killed by somebody that you tried that you really didn't know. It happens all the time. You respect. You got somebody in your mind who you respect, right? But it's not us. But you wind up dying from playing with us. That part. You can use that for yourself. They got people who in their mind who they respect, right? But it's not us. But you wind up getting killed by us. That's how it is, man. That's how it is. That's how it is. That's how it is with a lot of black people. So, man, well, why you getting killed by people you tried? You tried them. You're supposed to have been able to handle the situation. If you try somebody, that means you thought you could win, right? Well, I'm guessing. I don't guess it's a suicide mission when you knew you couldn't win. If you're trying people, you think you can win, don't you? Well, why you get killed by somebody that you tried? You got crashed out from trying somebody that you thought you could beat. And that's happening with me. All these people trying me. Listen, you crashed out a long time ago. But I guarantee you somebody else you respect. And I ain't going to trip on them. I ain't going to compare myself to them. I'm going to just say you died from trying somebody that you thought you could beat. And you couldn't. But you got somebody else in your mind who you respect. Right? And that's how, listen, man, that's a lame legacy right there. These people out here dying from people you thought you could try, and you got smashed. You know what I'm saying? These secret societies trying me, you thought you could, but you got people you respect in the culture and all these people that you respect, these rappers. But guess what? You got smashed by me, sucker. And that's facts. That's facts. That's facts. That's not even speculation. That's not even spectating on the situation in an ignorant way, right? That's facts on it, man. I guarantee it's people they scared of, but you got smashed by me. You scared of these gangsters out here, but you got smashed by me. They're a perfect example. Okay, so like I said, man, even the most people that's 100, they ain't even doing all the killing. They ain't doing because they got better ways of handling situations, than doing all this killing. It's usually the ignorant people. Just because some people catch a body don't mean they real, bro. That's the time you live in 2026. People can catch bodies and be fake. People can be violent and be lame because they want to play that position. That's part of the culture. That's part of being part of the culture. They want to be the shooter. That's part of the culture. So now people want to play that position to be cool. That's how bad it is. Like you keep hearing about shooter in the community, in the culture, right? You're gonna want to play that position. So it's people that just thirsty to be that persona. So some people catch bodies and they really lame. You pick their brain, you pick they moves. You see their chess moves is checkers, man, checkers. They play checkers. We play chess. So if you're sophisticated enough on the subject, you realize, man, these days in 2026, lames is catching bodies. Suckers is trying to put pressure on people. Suckers think they in our politics. These lame girls and lame boys think they're in our politics. Man, them lames, man. And I don't care if they got guns. I don't care if they got drugs and caught bodies. They still lame by principle. See, what makes you a lame is not what you do and you don't do. You know what makes you a lame? What makes you a lame is your lack of principles, your lack of worldviews. If we pick your mind on this and pick your mind on that, you get exposed. That's why some of these rappers probably won't do long videos, because you get exposed. You know what I'm saying? Tupac, he talked for hours and hours without being exposed. I can talk for hours and hours. You ain't gonna expose me. Everything I'm gonna say is gonna be 100. Now, if you talk too much, you're gonna get exposed, and we gonna find you slipping on some subject. That's why some of these rappers don't do long videos. You know why? Because if you talk long enough, you're gonna expose yourself to be lame in certain other areas. Whether it's black people, you might be lame on talking about black people. You might be lame on your approach to black people. Where you ain't keeping the 100 with all this killing and everything going on out here. So you kind of sound, junior when it comes to black people and how you approach it. You sound like a junior. You don't sound like a big dog when you start talking about black people. Not to me. Not to me. You don't sound like the caliber of these pro-black people, these activists, these people that's 100, that's telling the truth, that correct the people. You got to correct black people. You can't just let black people just be doing all this stuff and you don't correct them. You got to correct them. Just like you correct your family. You got to correct black people. If you don't do that, you're not the leader. The leader will be corrected. You ain't going to find no leader that runs a military and they don't correct nobody. How in the world you going to run a military and you don't correct nobody? You're not fit to be the leader. And see, you look at correction the wrong way. Like you hurting people instead of making people better. If you making people better, it's one way to look at correction. It's two ways to look at correction. You making people better, which we call constructive criticism. Right? Some people don't understand constructive criticism. Some people take all criticism as constructive. Because I'm going to become better with whatever you talk about. Either way. I'm going to get better either way. But people that act like they ain't subject to criticism, man, Jesus Christ was subject to criticism. So Jay-Z is going to be subject to criticism. Black people going to be subject to criticism. If Jesus Christ was subject to criticism, they criticize Jesus. You think you're going to walk through the world collectively or as individuals without being criticized? I done been criticized. Of course, you know that. They done criticize me. But you ain't gonna get criticized. Come on, stop playing, bro. Ain't nobody above criticism. Okay? But you just gotta know what you're saying. You gotta be real with what you're saying. It gotta be real. Now, if you a lame, you're gonna be out here criticizing and they ain't gonna make sense to nobody. I criticize. Listen, people feel me. To be the leader, you got to be able to correct the people. You can't be sitting back being cool with everybody. You can't be a general being cool with all the soldiers. No, you got to get them in top. You got to whip them in tip-top shape and get them tight. And you know, and especially with the arrogance and ego of black people, you know how much work that's gonna be. You ain't gonna just come in and get no military going and everything and get something going, and you don't correct these people and their ego and their arrogance and all of that. Come on, and their world views and everything like that. Ain't no way in the world. That's why it hasn't been done, because either people are scared to do it, or you too cool to do it. You too cool. You know, you want to be cool with everybody. Every atmosphere you're in, you want to be cool. You can't be cool in every atmosphere as a leader. See, a good manager knows that. I can't be cool with the staff. I gotta have a boundary, a healthy boundary between me and the staff or my army. There's a healthy boundary, because they really ain't done what I've done on top of that. So that's what's gonna create another boundary, a healthy boundary of reality. And you're gonna keep a healthy boundary based on you being respected. You got to keep a healthy boundary, so you're taken seriously. That's the price you have to pay. A manager can't be cool in everybody's face, because as soon as you play that position like you cool with everybody, you don't have that healthy boundary where you differentiate. It's not because you're on a high horse. It's because if you get too close to the people and all like that, too close. Like where we on the same position, basically we in the same position. When you play it like we in the same position, but we not, you get treated like you're in the same position. Like you're a co-worker instead of a manager. Like I can't take your job. You know what I'm saying? And see, that's a good leader. A good leader is gonna understand, I gotta keep a healthy boundary. Because first of all, you ain't doing what I'm doing. So who are you to even be in my lane to even try to criticize me? That's number one. You don't do what I do, so I'm gonna keep a healthy boundary. Number two, I'm gonna keep a healthy boundary, so you take me seriously. You realize I'm not another homie. I'm not your homie. I'm not another homie. I'm a prophet. And that's where you got it messed up. You see that part? See how I cleared it all up? I'm not your homie, and neither am I subject to the streets, which means we gonna go to war with the street kingdom, because people treat me like I'm a homie. Which means you think I'm subject to these street tests and I'm subject to street politics. No, I'm not. I'm a prophet. I can shut all that down. I just take the time out of concern and love to speak the truth, for the love of the truth. I got love for the truth. See, you don't got love for the truth. That's 7 out. Well, no, you don't. If you had love for the truth, you'd always be talking about it. You would have ongoing conversations about everything that's true and real, and that would be your expertise, and that would be your preference of conversation. Your preference of conversation is not love of the truth. That's why you couldn't be the leader. If you got to have love for the truth. That's what people want to hear. All this stuff going on, nobody want to hear nobody trying to be cool with everybody. I mean, it ain't gonna do nothing. It ain't, you know. So if people have good understanding, man, you realize black people and white people destroyed this country, and that's the bottom line. Now see, that statement can fix the situation. You being cool can't fix the situation. So you can consider it constructive criticism, because that statement can in the right hands fix the situation. It's depending on who hands it's in. If it's in your hand individually, and you know you're the problem, and you know you out here ready to kill people at the drop of a hat, but you won't kill nobody else but black people. Some of these black people, you won't fight nobody else but black people. So I feel like some of y'all out there in the streets is cowards, because you won't fight no white woman. You won't fight no white man. You know why? Because you know they'll put you under the prison for playing with a white person. You ain't gonna do nothing towards them. You gonna be scared to touch them. Oh, excuse me. You bump into a white person. Oh, sorry. Did I hurt you? Here, you dropped your bubble gum. Here's your bubble gum. You dropped it. You picking up white people bubble gum off the ground. You dropped your pack of bubble gum. Here it is. Oh, that's yours, right? Oh yeah, okay, there you go. Have a good day. I promise you, black people like that, bro. I promise you a good amount of black people like that. You got good mannerisms and gestures towards white people, but you horrible towards black people. But when it comes to white people, you won't do nothing. You won't say nothing wrong to them. You won't say nothing. And you scared to do anything to them. You won't do nothing to them. And as far as why we talk about the streets, Thug Nation never rose up in America. All these thugs and everything, we never put our mind. You know why? Because we never put our mind in the right worldview. You know what I'm saying? We didn't see who the enemy was. Thug Nation never came together because we was too busy killing each other, and we was too busy focused on money. And some things is bigger than money, especially for black people. Knowing where we going and getting where we're trying to go, that's more important than money. See that part? That's 7 out. Listen, for black people, what's most important? Us all getting where we need to go or money? You pride yourself on money being above everything and money is first. That's a slogan they want you to get in your head as a black person. That don't apply to you. What's important to you first is your freedom as an individual. And you getting where you need to go and how you need to get there, navigating as a black man, because you can get all the money in the world. But if you ain't treated right, if you don't have laws, and I'm serious, if you don't have laws and everything like that, if we never fall in that direction, you can get all the money in the world and you get treated like crap. So see, your assignment here is a little more complex than the next man. You can't move like these white people. You can't act like you all about the money. They can do that. You can't, because you're subject to their rule. So if you're subject to their rule, you got to fight to come above that rule. That's number one, is coming above the rule of white people. And that's why we never did it, because, you know, we chase money like white people. At some point, you get money, right? But it's a balance. It's a balance to everything. We didn't make that balance. We went to the extreme. All about money, killing our own people and everything. That ain't an extreme. Out here for the money, that is an extreme. It's an extreme that, you know, that's all you're doing. And you wind up losing your own life. Going to the extreme about money. So for me, you know, your first position is to come from under the rule of white people first as a person by worldviews. Because some of y'all got the worldviews of white people. That's why you think it's all about the money. That's what the white boys gonna think. That's what they do. That's why we can't flex too hard when we talk about money, because they gonna flex harder. The richest man in the world is who? Elon Musk, right? A white man. Let's call it how it is. You say African, I say European. That's the bar, and it wouldn't be no other way. It wouldn't be no other way. Okay? It ain't gonna be no other way. They got the money. So we can't even flex too hard. You know, we can flex on our own people. We can flex on other black people. You can't flex on other white people with money. They gonna flex, they'll flex on you so hard with the whole system of America and everything, man. Listen. You when they get done with you, you'll feel like a shoe shiner, man. Like you Toby the shoe shiner. They show you all these businesses and everything they've been doing in America and building the whole community and the infrastructure of the community. Listen. They'll make you look like a Toby the shoe shiner. If you go flex for flex with white people, you can't go for flex with white people. So what winds up happening is black people flex on black people. You can't go flex for flex with white people. Flex for flex? Nope. They keep going up. Oh, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. Okay? Because not only do they have money, they have power everywhere. So the only people can beat them is the prophet. That's why I demand respect. Because see, me, I don't have to, listen, I have a certain type of power that none of y'all have. that has to be respected like a power. And that's what you're going to find out. Just like you're scared of these white boys that can put money on your head, you're scared of some of these rich black people that can put money on your head. I can put money on your head too. So now you realize there's more than one type of power. Not just the fat cat, the mob, and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So now people realize God's kingdom is a power that has to be respected. It has to be. So that's what it is. And I'm going to use my power. I'm not going to manipulate it or abuse it. But I'm going to use my power like anybody else do. I'm going to get my respect from this community that played with me like they thought it was a game. Now I'm going to make you look like Toby the shoe shiner. Because you deserve it. You played with power. You took it. Listen, you didn't see no money here. You didn't see nothing going on. And that was the main reason that you thought you could play in my face. If I would have had money, if I could have put money on your head, you wouldn't have played with me. Even at secret societies. No, because you know, I can put a green light on your community. I can randomly start hurting people. And now you see I can randomly start hurting people. But with the spiritual power. You know, so it's a power that has to be respected, just like these people that got money or thugs in the street and gangsters. Them are all different types of power. Now you learn to respect the prophetic power, the power of the prophet. That's why I stress so much to talk about the subject of the prophet, because a lot of people are ignorant on it. They're ignorant on who a prophet is. They don't know what it is. You can't approach me. You can't approach me like I'm some religious person. I'm a wield my power like I'm supposed to. That's right. And I can show you the prophet Elijah cursed children in the Bible. That's wielding his power. He didn't get disrespected. So some of y'all, you know, you don't want to be on that level. You wouldn't want to do that. That's you. You get destroyed for a lack of knowledge. I'm going to wield my power just like the prophet Elijah, and I'm not taking no disrespect. Because if you look at what happened with prophet Elijah with the children, it basically was about disrespect, right or wrong. I mean, the kids didn't do nothing to him physically. Right or wrong. Okay, so what was the problem? The problem was disrespect. That's what it was. And the prophet wasn't tolerating it. And the moral of the story is, to me, is if the prophet don't tolerate disrespect from kids, can you imagine me tolerating disrespect from black people or grown people? I'm not doing it. And that's my mentality. That's my worldview. See, the truth is, man, you just didn't mature yourself, many of you, in worldviews. Me and you can't, I'm too complex for you as an enemy. I am. I'm too complex for you as an enemy. You got to go choose a lower caliber enemy, buddy. Listen, man, listen, a real enemies should be able to talk face to face, and I'll be able to take your manhood or your womanhood without violence. See, black people only fight on one level. Most of them violence. I fight on intellectual levels where it's worse than violence, because when I'm done with you, most of you ain't gonna want to live. You ain't gonna want to live in your existence. That's worse than me putting hands on you or shooting you or stabbing you. That's worse. For me to snatch your soul is worse. I snatched the soul of America. They marry children. That's worse than blowing you up. You know what's worse than blowing you up? Showing everybody you've been marrying children since 1929. Yeah, now you playing chess. Now you understand the art of chess. If I take your existence, you're nothing anyway. Whatever you worked up to be is now nothing. Or it's not what you equated to be to the community. So that's worse than killing somebody, because now you got to live in that existence. See, you tried to do that to me as a community. You tried to assassinate my character. I outlived that. That's the power of truth in the real man. That's the power of authenticity. I weathered everything with my authenticity. So for somebody to say I'm fake, buddy, listen like I told you. You too simple-minded to be my enemy. How am I fake when I weathered all these accusations? I had to be real and something else to weather the fake and the falsehood that they said about me. I had to show indications of something else, which means that indication was my realness. You know what I'm saying? That's high school levels, man. Talking about, you can't call me out and shoot down my realness with the drop of a hat, buddy. It ain't gonna work. I got too much credibility being real. You know how? You know how I know? How everybody look at it? I've weathered all these accusations. So if you're smart, you realize, well, he had to be real to weather these accusations. He had to project something else to weather that. Not just what's coming out of his mouth. He had to show something else to the community by way of worldview, mindset, actions, and everything else, energy and everything else. And I did all of that. So imagine me being subject to a high school minded person that's basically got the intellect of a high school person. Imagine me being subject to your opinion, your rinky dink opinion at that. Man, come on, stop playing with me, buddy. I talk it and I back it up. Because I'm a prophet, buddy. A real prophet. That's why you're going through. Like black people say, you're going through. You know why you're going through? Because you played with a prophet, buddy. You listen, you played around and found out. That's all it is to it. Black people destroyed this country. White people destroyed this country. Ain't no fabrications and exaggerations to the situation. That's what happened. Now, you ain't 100 enough while you talking about being real. You ain't real enough to say that. Huh? Come on, man. Stop playing, bro. You ain't real enough to say it. And I ain't saying it out of anger either. I'm not, yeah, that part. Because people going to say, oh, he's saying that because he bitter and butthurt. No, I'm not. It's facts. And even if I was saying it out of being bitter and butthurt, it's still facts. That's the power of facts. Do you care if I'm bitter and butthurt? If I'm saying everything in the proper narrative and in the full narrative, that's what it is. It's not half truth and whole lies like my enemies. Half truths, whole lies. Because you're not telling all the truth. That's why you got to go to when you go to the courtroom, you got to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You know why they say the whole truth? Because people come in there telling half of stuff. And that forms a narrative when you have half the truth or something. It's formed. You're not telling everything because you don't want to paint the full narrative, and people see the full narrative of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I don't paint half truths and whole lies because it gets esteemed as a whole lie because you're not telling all the components and dynamics. You're not sharing all the components and dynamics to paint the real narrative. So it becomes a whole lie in your effort to tell half the truth. You know, so that's half of y'all. You know what I'm saying? You're going to tell half the truth, man, and go on about your business. So I don't take it seriously. No, I don't. Because you tell half the truth most of the time. Oh, the white people is the problem. The black people the problem too. Oh, they not? Oh, go in the wrong neighborhood in New York and see if black people the problem for you. Go see if they the problem for you. And you could be the most ratchet, cool black dude it is. Go through New York long enough. Let's just say you was doing it all day. You just went through every hood. I guarantee you're going to find a problem. By the end of the day, let's just say you just took a tour through New York, right? You went through every hood. You went through the hardest hoods, the hardest blocks. Let's put it like that. You went through the hardest blocks. You listen, you think you ain't going to find some kind of problem. If you kind of linger around, let's just say you just lingered around, posted up a little bit. Around the hardest block. Everybody moving back and forth on this hard block, talking to each other, whatever. You know, you don't think somebody going to say something to you? You don't think somebody going to try you? You don't think so? Come on, of course. See, man, listen, you really haven't caught up to the real reality, but you haven't incorporated into your narrative and worldviews. That's why I find out everything I need to find out about a person by their worldviews. It puts it in the right perspective. So if I know you feel like black people doing all the killing, am I going to esteem you as a racist when you talk about other stuff? No, because I know your worldview is black people doing all the killing. So that's going to make sense to everything else you're saying. That's not going to be that you're a sellout. No, you feel like black people doing all the killing. That's your worldview. So then I'm going to interpret everything else through that worldview. That's why if I want to find out who's racist or whatever, I just listen to worldviews. Trump talk about Somalians are trash and everything like that, and their country is trash. I just listen to worldviews. You pay attention to Trump's worldviews. I feel if he's not racist, he's a type of white person that feels he's still a white supremacist. That's 7 out. Well, you basically move like white people are supreme to everybody else. You didn't know you could be a white supremacist and not a racist. Oh yeah, you could be. You ain't gonna say nothing. You ain't gonna call nobody out their name. But you move like white people is up here, and y'all just do this stuff down here. Y'all just get it together over here. You know, that's a white supremacist. They feel like they supreme to everybody. You got black supremacists too. They might not call white people out their name, but listen to their worldviews. Their worldviews is that we are up here as black people and everybody else is down here. God made all humanity. See, if you're really a godly person, you're gonna come to terms with that God made all humanity and we all have something to add to the human race. That's how I look at it. I mean, you can see that. You can see the strengths of each race if you pay attention. Everybody, can we say we created equal? Obviously not. You can look at our anatomies and tell we're not created equal, but we all add to each other. Okay, if I'm a little bit taller than you, I can do something around a building that you couldn't do. If you're a little bit smaller than me, you can go through a nook and cranny that I can't go through. You see what I'm talking about? So you go from anatomy to even intellect. Some you might think about, I might not. Some I think about, you might not. But you grow from what I've said. You know what I'm saying? You get something from what I've said. So my idea is that us as the human race, we all add to each other. That's what we do. We add to each other. We complement each other. We strengthen each other. We have the potential to do it. Let's put it like that. But you can't come in a supremacist of your race. And that's the punchline. Whether you be black or white, you can't go and look at all these other races and think, and white people and black people make the mistake of doing it. They go everywhere and they think all around the world and they think they supreme to other races of people. White people do it and black people do it. I can show you a white supremacist and a black supremacist. And the main thing they have in common is they think they're above their race. Their worldview is we're up here. And these people are not significant. They look at them. Look what they do. Look at this. Black people talk about white people. Look at them. They beneath us. They're Edomites. How they put it? Edomites? Something like that. They Edomites. They beneath us and all of that. I'll never use that kind of language. But I call you ignorant if you're ignorant. If I call you something pertaining to being ignorant if you're ignorant. But just to say your whole race, that's more on the individual level. Not all Europeans everywhere. The way a black supremacist talk about is all Europeans everywhere, not even just the Americans. Pay attention to the worldviews. That means Europeans in Russia. The Russians are Edomites by Black Hebrew standard. Oh, that's 7 out. Let's talk to the Black Hebrews. Well, a Russian is considered an Edomite to you, ain't it? A Russian person. If you listen to Black Hebrews, they're European. Russians are European, buddy. In fact, all the Europeans are over there. That's where they all come from. What you call the Edomites, if I'm saying that right. They all come from Europe, right? Okay, Russia is in Europe, over there with Europe. So the Black Hebrews, you feel like Russians are nothing. But I'm affiliated with Russians. See, I realize it's not a certain race that's a problem. A lot of times it's a certain tribe that's a certain problem. All Africans are not a problem. I can show you, see that worldview? That's a worldview. So you can never say I'm racist by what you just heard out your mouth. Now, if you're retarded, you will sit up and try to split hairs and try to find me to be racist after I just said that. I just said all Africans are not a problem. It's a certain tribe that's a problem. That's what the problem is. So you can find good Jamaicans. I've always been cool with Jamaicans. I've always been cool with Ethiopians. So I can show you different Africans. I can show you different Africans that are 100. But it's you. It's African Americans. You are the problem in our community. It's not the Jamaicans. It's not the Haitians. They're out the way. So imagine me blaming them for what you do and saying it's a collective African problem, and it's not. That's just what it is. You know, it's see, when it comes to African, a sophisticated person realizes all Africans do not have the same credibility and liabilities. You as African Americans have liabilities that the Jamaicans don't have. You have liabilities that the Ethiopians in America, they can't voucher for you. They can try, they can support you, but they can't voucher. They can't voucher. You know the difference between support and vouchering? They can't voucher for you. How? They can't. They can support you. They can try, but they ain't gonna make it past your lack of credibility. They're gonna have to stand with you and take the liabilities. And that's the thing about it. If you stand with them, you gotta take the liabilities. That's how it is. If you support people that's killing each other and contradict themselves on the strength of them being African, and you're ignorant, not understanding different tribes, you got to take their liability. It's not about African, it's about tribes of African. See, that's being complex as an adult. You can feed white people that. Like it's all about African. No, it's all about you as one tribe, and African Americans think they embody all tribes of African. You are not all tribes of African. No, you're not. You're not all tribes of African. Okay, so you're one tribe of African. So I can show you how other tribes of African don't respect you as a collective community. They might respect individuals, but they don't respect you collectively because of what you do collectively. And they not sellouts. I can show you Africans in Africa that was taught just like me. You can feed white people that. You can't feed no sophisticated African person that I'm against all Africans because I'm against African Americans. You tripping. That's that corny American stuff. You see what I'm saying? You know, I can show you how people in Nigeria and don't have no respect for you. I can show you each country I bet. Each country in Africa, they don't respect African Americans for the obvious reasons. All the killing and everything like that. So what's the difference? What's the difference? I'm painting a real reality that many people feel. You know what I'm saying? You're just one tribe of African. You flattered yourself. You thought you embodied all tribes of African, and you don't. White people are stupid. Not all of them. Don't misinterpret that. Those who are thinking you the only tribe of African, and they defending you like you represent all African people. That's stupidity. That's ignorance. A true African person is gonna break it down to tribes. Nah, that's the African Americans. That ain't no Jamaicans. That ain't no Haitians. So we don't got nothing to do with that. That's what the Jamaicans gonna say. Nah, we don't know because we know how they are and what they do, and we don't move like that. Jamaicans gonna speak for themselves by their principles and their worldviews and how they do things. You can't come out here and contradict yourself and expect every African to ride with you. It ain't gonna work. And it's worse than ever before. And that's what you're not looking at either. You don't got so used to it, you don't realize it's worse than ever before. It still is. I don't care how much you say the crime went down. It still is worse than ever before. I can show you this year where black children being killed by other black people. Okay? Okay? It's self-explanatory. But white people gonna be biased. White people gonna be biased. Okay? And that's that. They gonna be biased. I ain't beat. I don't get beat. I don't get defeated, buddy. I don't get defeated. Okay, you do. Okay, you can be quiet. You can think you can trigger me that way. Man, listen, I win. I rule. I rule because of information. I rule because, listen, buddy, your position could never be taken seriously on the same caliber as mine. That's how I rule. I'm above because of information, not because of black supremacy. And not because I esteem myself as supreme to others. I rule because when we break down your worldviews and your information, You lack understanding. You lack a anchor in proper understanding on the situation. So how can I not rule over you? How can you rule over me? When your country been marrying children, how can you rule over me? When you think you could beat me in any form or fashion? That is a child. A man will never think you could beat me. I rule over everybody not because I'm a black supremacist or some type of supremacist or even a Christian supremacist. I rule because all of y'all talked about pedophiles, but you didn't even know your country were marrying children. In the old days, I would rule to power over the people that accused me and didn't even know what their own country was doing. I would rule over you, literally. They would put me in power. I wouldn't just win. I would be in power over ignorant people. They would esteem me as more competent to rule over you as a result of my competency. Well, yeah, I mean, you running around, but you didn't even know nothing about child marriage, and I revealed it, right? From that war and battle between me and you, they gonna esteem me as more competent to rule than you. And that includes the competent collective black people. You didn't know nothing about it. You didn't say nothing about it. Oh, so you think I represent you talking about it? That's 7 Al. When you played an enemy, and we know that. You didn't know nothing about it. So we don't care nothing about what you assume or you insinuate. I know my mind. I know what I'm thinking. I know why I'm thinking what I'm thinking. And you don't, right? But I can show you in reality. Besides psychological games or psychological assumptions and intuitions, I can show you clear-cut contradiction to you being higher to yourself and you being higher than me. It's an exaggeration. You're not higher than me. You're not on my level. And I proved it. It's not a mental assumption. I proved your whole black community didn't know nothing about marrying children, but you was talking about pedophiles. That's what you're here for, right? That's what you're insinuating with psychological games. You're still insinuating with psychological games. So how couldn't I rule over you when I'm the only one talked about child marriage and you didn't talk about it? So you thought it was a game. You thought I was doing something goofy. Ain't nobody gonna esteem that as anything. When all these black people sitting around funky didn't even know your country was marrying children. You listen, buddy, you was talking about pedophiles this whole time and you ain't even know your country was marrying children. You can't be serious. How would you be compared to me? That's not white supremacy. That's not black supremacy. That's not supremacy in worldview. That's caliber of person. That's quality of person. That's rank. That's above yours. And even in the military, people don't put things in rank. Absolutely. A general ain't gonna never think a private is on his level. No, I'm a general. So am I being a supremacist or I'm being condescending? No. It's a place where you put everything in rank. In this situation, no different. Because all these people around here, you all think you're somewhere near my level. That's what you think. That's the main worldview you got in this situation. You think you near me, don't you? Buddy, listen, man, listen. Telepathy ain't gonna put you where I'm at. Ain't none of that gonna put you where I'm at. Mind reading and spirituality, whatever you consist of, ain't gonna ever put you in my lane. Because you came out here to see what I was thinking about children. And you don't think we know that. Okay, so I know the arena just in case you don't think I know the arena. But the contradiction is you was ignorant like donkeys, like a donkey. You didn't even know y'all was marrying children. You were just as stupid as a donkey. Now imagine you coming in here trying to see my mind and what's on my mind, but your whole community been dumb as donkeys about children. What, donkeys represent the Democrats, don't it? Oh, I couldn't resist that one, buddy. Listen, man, listen, bro. Let me tell you something, man. Understand, people say stay in your lane. Understand your lane. That part. How many arrogant people come out here, buddy? Listen, you ain't got no part of my intellect. You could not be my enemy because you don't listen. You're not sophisticated enough. We don't care enough about how you oppose me intellectually, psychologically, with that little hoodoo, or obia witchcraft, African witchcraft. We don't care nothing about that. We care about reality, like we supposed to. That's what we care about. And when we find you lacking, like they say in Chicago, you lacking, right, when it comes to knowing about what's going on with these children, but you came out here to play with me as a prophet, you're not going to ever win in our idea, in our perspective. Only a child think, oh, I can play around his mind and win. I don't care if it's in the name of witchcraft or whatever. It's immature. It's a child's mindset. Because a mature, grown person is going to look in the real world, right? And they're going to see what is real and go by that. That's what they're going to go by, right? We ain't going to go by nobody playing around somebody's head and trying to, come on, man, listen. That's how we know. Them little dumb secret societies and everybody with them. Listen, buddy, do not ever think me and you are equals. We're equal as far as humanity, but not equal as far as quality. No, we're not. Because every time you think you got me, even psychologically, that's why they quiet down to try to trigger. You ain't get me right there, buddy. Because my mind was in the proper perspective, mature in the proper perspective of preference as far as what I prefer as far as women. But you thought you had me, didn't you? That's how good I am. And that's how you know you ain't on my level. You thought you just got me, didn't you? You didn't. Listen, I was already thinking. I know what I'm thinking, right? My preference and what the age is that I prefer as far as women, that's going to be adult and up. Now, I can show you, besides psychological stuff, your country, marrying children. If you don't think no black people did it, you out your mind, buddy. Oh, of course a black person took advantage of child marriage. So black people was doing it too. White people made the laws, but I guarantee you black people took advantage of it. And if you want to talk about pedophilia, won't you tell people in every family tree, there's a pedophile in every black family tree, most family trees. Well, why all these black women complaining about being molested when they was children? You know how I know that? Because I've dated real black women. You know how many black women complain about being molested when they was children? Well, then put it all together. There's 60 to 70% of the black family trees in America, African American family trees, there's a pedophile in each one of those families. 60% of the family trees of African Americans has a pedophile in the African American tree. Oh, it's not true? Well, listen, here's the test. Here's some homework for you. Go talk to these black women out there and ask them, have they been molested as a child? And ask them, the next question, ask them, was they touched by their family or somebody that was esteemed as a family member? Go ask these black people. Go ask these black women, was they, most of them, and don't choose no ugly, no unattractive person. Go talk to these black women that look decent. And ask them, did something happen to them when they was a kid? I guarantee you 60% to 70% of them going to say something happened to them. You know why? You know how I know? You know how I know? Because I've dated many black women and they all complain about the same thing, that somebody in their family touched them. So how you going to come out here like y'all don't do nothing with your own family? Oh, it's strange to you, but it's not strange to the women in your family. Oh, I know what I'm talking about. You know how I know? Because I've dated a million black women and they all complain about the same thing. Or sometimes they say they just had sex with their family members. I've dated and I know that. Some black women say, I had sex with my cousin. The last woman I was with told me, oh, she had sex with her cousin. And she didn't say he molested her. She said they had sex. Just like that. So everybody didn't get molested. Some of these black women also had sexual experiences with their family that they enjoyed. They enjoyed the sexual. Yeah, they'll tell you about some acts, but they ain't telling you about everything. They ain't telling you about the sex acts they enjoyed with their own family. Oh, they ain't gonna tell you about that with their favorite cousin. Yeah, that part. They ain't gonna tell you about that, the stuff they did that they enjoyed. They gonna tell you about the stuff that looked like they got victimized. But they ain't gonna tell you about the sex acts that they enjoyed with their favorite cousin. They ain't gonna tell you that part. Oh, they gonna tell you the part that makes them look like a victim, that paints a certain narrative. But you ain't gonna tell them how you also, in addition to that, you enjoyed sexual acts with some of your favorite cousins. Oh, well, black community, won't you tell white community that you got a pedophile in every family tree, most family trees. They don't know this. And that you've had sex acts with your own family that you enjoyed, that you ain't telling nobody about. How I know this? Because I've dated too many black women. That's how I know. So you deserve it. You forced my hand. Ain't no sellout. You think every time somebody expose you, but you try to expose me, right? But you ain't a sellout trying to expose me, but I'm a sellout trying to expose you. That's 7 out. Yeah, man, stop playing with me, buddy. I'm doing exactly what you tried to do. Marrying children in the country and got pedophiles in most African American trees. Listen, most African American family trees, you got pedophiles in them, buddy. How I know for sure is because I've dated many black women and they all talk about the same thing. When you settle in with them, they tell you about their family, how somebody sexualized them in their family. And the truth is, if you're a little more sophisticated on the subject, many of them have had sexual acts with their family that they enjoyed, and they're not going to tell you about it. They're not going to tell you about it. Some of them, they're going to take it to the grave. You done stuff that you taken to the grave. How you think I know that? Because y'all human, and you're human. And I know half of y'all in America, this is America in general, if you was raised on American culture, you've done sexual stuff that you're taking to the grave, right? Yes, you are. You ain't gonna tell nobody all the sex acts you did as a kid. No, you're not. Now listen, this is where we be real with ourselves, right? Yeah, that part. Where you got sex acts that you ain't gonna tell nobody that you done. How I know? Because I'm human. You're human. I'm exposing your humanity. Now, like I said, we're equal as far as humanity. Where you do the same things you accuse other people of. That's why the most despicable people is the people that come out and act like they ain't done nothing. But we're equal as far as humanity by experience as well. Which, if I master myself, like I like to say, I've mastered everybody else. You know why? Because you're human. So the real sensei knows if I master myself, I've mastered everybody else. Because you can't be too far from who I am. So that means you got some secrets that you taking to the grave. You got some sexual secrets that you ain't gonna tell nobody what you done. You ain't gonna tell nobody about your cousins. You ain't gonna tell nobody about your favorite cousin that you had sex with, and it wasn't molestation. It wasn't molestation because you both were consensual and you both enjoyed it. That part. But listen, I have no problem with that. Of you keeping that to yourself. You know why? Because that's your life. Who am I to go pick you apart? But that's what you did to me. So then you force my hand that I gotta expose you, that you got secrets that you ain't gonna tell nobody, that you taking to the grave. So that everybody understand the full capacity of humanity, and we stop acting like this is a cartoon situation. See, I made a clown out of you. Because everybody know I'm right. And if you're real with yourself, you're talking about, listen, you shouldn't use the word real or fake in your life again. In your life again, buddy. You shouldn't use real or fake in your life again. Fraudulent as they come. Sitting up trying to see if somebody a pedophile, and I guarantee you got sexual acts that you taking to the grave that you ain't gonna tell nobody that you did. And that's okay. Because that's part of the human race. We all got stuff that we taking to the grave. And guess what? That's okay. It's okay to have secrets. Let's tell America, it's okay to have secrets that you take into the grave. That's part of being a human. That's why we have to exterminate those who are not human. People gonna relate to me. Okay, yeah, I got some secrets. I know I did some stuff I'm taking to the grave. It might not even be sexual. It might be something you stole from your family. It might be some money you stole from your family. It might be something you stole from your community. It might be something else, somebody you beat up secretly and nobody knew about it. Or you beat somebody to a pulp and nobody knew. You beat up a helpless person. You robbed some helpless person. You might have robbed some person and you know, and they was just a helpless, pathetic person, and you still robbed them and beat them up. We all got stuff we take into the grave. Okay? That's what makes me beat you, because humanity is going to agree with me. But this holding these people to these sterile psychological games, these cartoon, Ronald McDonald's cartoon games, listen, ain't nobody respecting that. You know what they're going to respect? At the end of the day, when people sober up, they're going to cock back their guns on you. Because they're going to listen, they're going to respect me as a person that's really human, even as a prophet. They're going to salute me way better. Because they ain't never seen a preacher or a prophet is a different lane. I'm gonna act as a master surgeon with a scalpel, and I'm gonna cut out all the foolishness with the truth. I'm gonna cut out all the disease, which is you, from our humanity, where we all realize we've done many things with that. Listen, you ain't gonna tell nobody what you done. I know that. You know how I know? Because you was too young to know what you was doing most of the time when you was a kid. So how you did everything right sexually, and you was a child just not knowing right from wrong, really, especially growing up here in America. How you gonna say you did everything right? Man, listen, man, I'm too smart to hear that. I know better than that. Some of you are taking stuff to the grave, and that's okay. The problem we have in the community is those who try to expose people on these sterile levels that they're not even on. You're not on the sterile level that you want us to be on, which means you have stuff that you're taking to the graveyard. You ain't gonna tell us what you've done, whether it was sexual or non-sexual. You've done things that you're taking to the grave. Now, are we picking your brain and picking who you are about it? No. It's in the hands of Jesus. Jesus knows what everybody did. God knows what everyone has done. And so if you see me with a relationship with God, you got to know I done came to terms with everything I've done. Which means I'm not going to lose no sleep about what I've done. I'm not going to be depressed or suicidal about what I've done, or even have anxiety about it. Sucker. Half of y'all, listen, you don't project humanity. You don't project signs of being a human being. Now, listen, first thing a human being going to tell you, listen, I done things I'm not proud of. Right. Now imagine them saying the same thing. These Freemasons and Illuminati and these police and these secret society witchcraft people. Imagine them saying they done things they ain't proud of. Or they have had thoughts they're not proud of. If you can do things you're not proud of, you can't have thoughts you're not proud of. That's 7 out. So you can't have thoughts you're not proud of. Huh? Oh, you can have thoughts you're not proud of too if you got things you've done that you're not proud of. But you are lame to the game. Like they say in North Carolina, you are lame to the game, bro. Listen, you are lame to the game, but the game of life. And you can't say that about me, because listen, I just showed everybody what it is. I just showed you yourself. I just showed you yourself, the man in the mirror. I just showed you yourself, a man in the mirror, because I know even the most well-together people that look like they totally normal done stuff. That's these rappers, and say, look at Kanye West talking about sucking his a 6-year-old penis when he was a kid. I knew this was going on. I knew this was the case. You can go back and watch my videos where I knew famous people had done stuff like this. You know how I know? Because they're human. I don't even hold it against them. I respect. A matter of fact, I'm glad I thought about this, because he's another person I respect 100. You know what I'm saying? I mean, all the other stuff, you know what I'm saying? But as far as his authenticity, not the fullness of his lifestyle, his authenticity to speak truth and facts, I mean, you got to respect that. This person told you, he my name is Jay, and I sucked my 6-year-old cousin penis when I was a kid. I'm paraphrasing through it, a modern, But that's what he said, man. Now, I guarantee you ain't going to find none of these other rappers do it. And they done things too. So when you see Kanye West, now you see humanity. Somebody that you see as normal. Because whether you want to accept it or not, see, this is what black people do. I'm gonna tell you your problem. You know what you do when you find any weakness in your African American community, you banish them from being black. If R. Kelly, I can go through the list. R. Kelly, Kanye West, even Michael Jackson, anybody that's suspect for anything, you banish them. But at the same time, you probably got things most likely that you take into the grave. You just didn't get exposed for it. You just didn't get exposed for it. But you just as funky as everybody else. That's why I salute Kanye West for telling his truth about what happened. Because now see, what a white boy, let's look at this. What a white boy gonna do, a police gonna do is come in and say, well, Kanye West was sucking a 6-year-old penis. That's a pedophile. But the part that you're leaving out makes it a half truth, a whole lie. Because the other part of the truth is, wasn't he a kid himself? Okay, so how is he a pedophile? Even if he was a little bit older, how is he a pedophile if they both were children? He's not a pedophile. See, some of y'all are not sophisticated on the subject, the sexual glossary of what makes people, what makes up different sexual positions. So you got kissing cousins. Kissing cousins is not a pedophile. Now, a corny white American white boy is going to say, oh, he was a pedophile. He had sex with a six-year-old boy. They're going to emphasize on a 6-year-old boy without considering that you was a child yourself. What about that part? But you're just going to emphasize on this person was with a 6-year-old child, completely leaving out that he was a child himself. Who does that? People that want to paint a certain narrative. They're going to do it about me and they're going to do it about you. They find out you did something to somebody that was around that age, 6, 7, 8, 5, whatever, right? They're going to leave out the fact that you was a kid yourself when it happened. Well, that's very important information, because my thing is this: if you was a kid, that's your best excuse, especially when it comes to sexuality. Your best excuse in sexuality, which makes us win, is I was a child myself. That's the best excuse. That's the absolute best excuse. You was a child yourself? Oh, that's the best excuse. That explains everything. And we ain't taking it as seriously as people trying to project it to be. Because we're not trying to paint these okie-doke cartoon narratives of people. Because we're not ghetto to a disgusting fault, right? We're not disgustingly ghetto, right? When some people are disgustingly ghetto, you're not ghetto fabulous. You thought you was. You disgustingly ghetto, buddy. That's what you are. Where you're coming out here painting narratives and you don't know nothing about these people. You don't know nothing about me. You're disgustingly ghetto. We're ghetto fabulous because we got attributes, things that we got from being ghetto, that we use in principles, in regulations, right? Where we can take it to other places in life, in other arenas in life. That's ghetto fabulous. You are disgustingly ghetto. You're ratchet, okay? Let's understand the difference. White people don't understand the difference. Okay, you got ghetto fabulous, where we got attributes, virtues, character virtues that we can apply to other areas of life, like our street intuition, hustling, being a hustler, and being able to make money in other areas because we learned that in the hood, right? Survival, learning to improvise. That's ghetto fabulous. Not just running around with money. That ain't ghetto fabulous. Ghetto fabulous foundationally is you got these characteristic attributes for survival in different areas, and it takes you further in life than the average person. Okay, that's ghetto fabulous. Don't ever mix up ghetto fabulous with funky ratchetness. That's all they are, man. And that's why we got a rift. That's why there's a gulf between ghetto fabulous and ghetto ratchet. They're not one and the same. They're going to feed that to white people. Black people know better. That's how you know who black. Because you articulate different types of black people. How How you ain't black and you different and you differentiate different types of black people? White people can't do that. Oh, I thought they were all good from the hood. Nope. All I gotta do is hear you talk in your worldviews, and I know you ratchet, funky. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Nah, you funky, buddy. Your bonnet probably stank, don't it? Your bonnet probably stank. That's why your grandma brought you 2 bonnets for Christmas. Well, she keep wearing that same stinking bonnet. That thing stank. I tried to tell her. She don't pay me no attention. She wearing that same stinking bonnet on her head. So I done bought her 2 for Christmas. Your grandma done brought you 2 bonnets for Christmas, so you stop wearing that same funky bonnet you been wearing. You wash it every 2 months, don't you? You wash your bonnet every 2 months, and you can just rinse it out in the sink and then let it dry. But you wash it every 2 or 3 months, don't you? You got that same funky bonnet on your head right now, as funky as it can be. Your grandma done bought you 2 and 3. She done bought you 3 bonnets. Your aunt done it too. Well, yeah, I bought her some too. You got 8 bonnets in your house because your bonnet funky. Well, I got 8 bonnets for Christmas. I got her 2 red ones. They couldn't help but get 2 red ones. They got me with pink one. I got a white one. I got a green one. I got a black one. Listen, you got 8 bonnets, don't you? Because you funky. People tired of you wearing that same funky bonnet. Grandma done got you 3 bonnets for Christmas. What was Christmas how many days ago? What's the day, the 29th? Yeah, 4 days ago you got 8 bonnets. Are you telling me all these women ain't got no bonnets for Christmas? Well, I put her some bonnets under the tree. She be wearing that bonnet all the time. You got bonnets for Christmas, didn't you? Listen, I'm done with it, buddy. Listen, man, listen. Listen. You said a lot worse about me, didn't you? Come on, let's keep it 100. Grow tough skin. Grow tough skin. Grow tough skin, buddy. You said way worse about me. I don't feel bad at all. People gonna respect me because, listen, I'm gonna project real humanity. I'm gonna project real humanity. Yeah, this ain't a game. This ain't no fluke. Listen, how can I be that swift on my toes and it's a fluke, bro? Listen, how can I be that swift on my toes and it's lame and I smashed you like that? Come on. Let me tell you something, man. That's always a sign of one of these ratchet women wearing them bonnets on their head. That's how I never liked that style. And I'm from North Carolina, where it come from. That come from all down there in the South, buddy. They been wearing them bonnets. They wasn't doing that up here in New York. Y'all got that from the South, man. No, y'all ain't started that. Them women down in North Carolina started wearing them bonnets on their head. Funky ran around with 2, 3 kids and ain't coming out the house putting that bonnet on their head. They should have stuck with them wraps. Putting the wraps around their head, that was cute. All the little colorful little wraps they put around their head. What happened? What happened, man? What happened to the wraps? All them scarves they used to wrap around their head, what happened? Because the bonnets ain't even that tight. That's what I'm talking about. The wraps, the scarves are tighter on the whole hairdo. Oh, well, maybe you got certain hairdos will stick up a little bit. Maybe that's what it is. Hey, that's what it is, ain't it? You got a hairdo to stick up a little bit, don't you? It probably is that, actually. Whatever the case may be, man, what I also noticed, I couldn't help but notice, besides why you wear the bonnets, most of these ratchet women wearing these bonnets, that's how you know. I promise you, man, and none of them look cute in them bonnets. I promise. I don't care how cute the girl face is, man. If I see a woman in bonnets, I would never talk to her. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. Especially if you wear it out in public. Nah, I'm sorry, bro. I can't. Nah. It's just a sign of being ratchet to me now. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm from the South where that started. That's where it started. You can easily see that. Southern bonnets, Southern women wearing bonnets. That you can clearly see that. In fact, that's where we started wearing them at, down here in the South. Back in the day, we think wearing them bonnet, wearing them bontes. We're gonna call them bontes. Wearing them bontes, huh? Women wearing them bontes. Hey man, listen. And the gay dudes trying to be like females, so they wearing them bontes, ain't they? And gay dude gonna be quick to call it a bonte. Yeah, I got me a bonte. I got me a bonte. Gay dudes wearing bonnets. Hey man, listen, man. Listen. You should have knew, man. Hey, if I truly am real, you know you ain't gonna play with me in your country doing all the stuff it's doing, and all these people, all these black women complaining about being molested when they was kids. All of them. All of them. I don't remember the last time I dated a woman that ain't talk. I'm serious. It's been a long time, probably like 16 years since I really dated a woman that didn't tell me nothing about her being molested. 16 years. All the other women I dated over the years that I was frequent with and consistent with, all of them talked about it. So imagine. So what you gonna conclude? That in the black community, specifically, all of this is going on. Okay, it's a pedophile in every family tree based on that information. That's common sense. I'll be generous and say 70% of the African American trees, 70%, because all these women I've dated been through it. I mean, and then you see it displayed all out in the culture, like R. Kelly with Aaliyah. Look at that. It came all out into our culture and everything. Y'all never said nothing about R. Kelly and Aaliyah. She was sexualized before she was a grown woman. It wasn't her. I mean, you know, it's the grown person's fault, which is R. Kelly. It's his fault. He couldn't look at a cute girl and just see her as a cute little sister. As a grown man now, and not as a child. Like Kanye West in his situation, right? This is a grown man. But see, that's how black people are. The guy that's tall and can sing like R. Kelly. Oh, you gonna bring him over for the cookout. Yeah, bring R. Kelly over for the cookout. He gonna stretch his legs out and eat barbecue chicken. Yeah, what's up, y'all? Acting like an alpha male, ain't it? That part. You know what I'm talking about. Stretching his legs out and eating barbecue chicken, listening to R&B. Yeah, how y'all doing? See them type of characters in the black community? The guy that look cool and everything. See, y'all don't want to admit it. Everybody listened to R. Kelly. Back in the day, I did too. When I was a kid, Honey Love, that was the song I liked. Honey Love, the video with all the honey on the girls and stuff. Man, come on, man. We all like Honey Love. Give me that honey love. Everybody liked that song. I remember as a kid watching the video, everything. It left an impression. Honey Love, yeah, everybody remember that Honey Love, man. Man, so we liked R. Kelly back. He was one of them stand-up kind of guys, alpha male kind of guys, and that's how he got away with it. When he was messing with Aaliyah, nobody pressed him like he deserved to be pressed for that, and we all knew. And it's common sense that she was young and he was a man. That was common sense. He couldn't resist the situation. He couldn't see just a little cute girl. It's nothing wrong with saying a girl is cute, right? Because it's not sexual. Okay, you're just acknowledging the beauty. Okay, she's a cute little girl, cute little Aaliyah. He couldn't he had to sexualize her. You know what I'm saying? And it happens. That's exactly how it happens in the family. These cute little women, these cute little girls get sexualized by men. I'm talking about men. I ain't talking about even just the cousins. I'm talking about the men too. Women complain about men. I'm telling you, man. Listen, man. I done heard some stories, boy. I'm telling you. Where one story was this one girl, one of the women I was dating, her cousin had a baby by her uncle because she fell on hard times and went to his house like a family member and wind up having a baby by the dude. That's insane, man. And when I met her, I would have never guessed that happened, man. I met her and everything. But she was a funny, sketchy person, man. She blamed me of stuff that I didn't do. She told my woman, which was her cousin, that I tried to hold her hand. Crazy. Like, and I've never been in a room with this woman more. I'm telling you, I couldn't get past that. I still, every time I would mention her, I would always talk about it, man. She talking about I tried to hold her hand. She came over for a pool party one time. I seen this woman one time, right? Mind you, I just seen her one time, right? Me and her didn't sit in the same room, in the same vicinity. She sat in the kitchen and I sat in the living room. And when we went to the pool party, I was with my woman, right? And like a dude, I went back to the house while the women chilled at the pool party. Yeah, ain't nothing going on. I went back to the house, so I wasn't even around her. The whole day she came over. How about later on, she talk about, oh yeah, he tried to hold my hand. What, man? I'm like, what? I'm not even that type of dude. Because I usually walk faster than the women that I'm with. How am I hold hands with them? I'm a fast walker, So I never really held hands with most women. You know what I'm saying? I didn't. I tried to. But, yeah, that's just not even my style. I wouldn't have done that, man. This same woman, though, she blamed me to my woman, which was her cousin. But I found out, man, she just had a whole sketchy life, man, because she had sex with her own uncle and had a baby by her own uncle. You know what I'm saying? So obviously, man, at some point she kind of was with it. You know what I'm saying? Now, come on, let's keep it 100. He ain't rape her. So what happened? You kind of just gave into it a little bit. That's basically what happened. That's another black family. And that family was from the islands, from Barbados. This goes deep. That was a Bayesian family from Barbados. That's what happened in Barbados. Look, man, listen. I'm just keeping 100 with you, man. It's just, when you look at it like, you look at it like that, it's just human nature, bro. That's all it is. It's human nature. I got too many. I done heard. Now that's a crazy story. I ain't never hearing, somebody having kids by their own family like that. You know what I'm saying? This was her uncle, man. He went that far. He put a kid in her, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. But, man, the further you go back in the day, man, all that stuff was happening, man. And see, that's why I ain't gonna let nobody play me like we ain't the human race. Man, it's so much corruption and scandal, like these movies, these TV shows. It's so much scandal and darkness in families, it ain't even funny. So all you did was just play yourself, man, because you know your own secrets. You know your own dirtiness. Every man knows their own secrets. Or woman. Hey, man, you playing yourself, coming out here talking about some pedophile. And y'all got one in every family. Everybody know that. That's the human race. That's the human race. That's why God gives commandments, because he knew people would be doing these things. There's all kind of commandments about not having sex with family members. You know what I'm saying? It's all in there. You know what I'm saying? That's why I believe in the Bible. Everything you can think about is in there, basically. Talking about the people having sex with their families and everything. That's all in there. Not to do it. You know what I'm saying? So people just tried to make me this clown. That's what I boil it down to. If everybody doing all this stuff, including having sex with animals, right now in West Virginia, it's no laws against having sex with animals. So a smart person know no laws against it is the law. They just don't want to say it and shame themselves like we give permission. So how you do it underhandedly in this situation is we just gonna say we don't have no laws against it, which is the law. The law is there's no laws. Okay, you get it? The law is no laws. You can do it. We ain't gonna do nothing to you. And how you know that's a law? Because they can look around and see everybody else banned bestiality. Okay, so then what you're doing is allowing it. That's common sense. And that's your law, is just no laws against it. When you see everybody else doing it, and then you don't think that's not a permission to do it? Of course it is. The people in West Virginia ain't saying, well, we don't give permission. How you mean you don't give permission? You have no laws against it. And everybody else done banned it, and you look around, everybody's done banned it, but you don't got no laws against it. That you don't consider that the law when everybody else done banned it? You don't consider that the law that allows it when it actually does, literally, when everybody else done banned it? Come on, man. See, we're not equal as far as quality. People are equal as far as humanity, which means my needs to be loved, respected, to have food on my table, to get water, everybody else got that same need. So we're all equal as far as our needs as humanity. That's why you fight for equality, because of equality of needs, the equal needs that we all have. We all have the same needs. That's why you fight for equality, so we get the same needs met, right? Whether it's respect, no discrimination, no racism, no sexual discrimination, gender discrimination. That's what I meant. Gender discrimination. You fight to be so that you get your same needs met as everyone else in humanity. So we're equal as far as humanity, but the low quality person tries to Jedi mind trick and say this person think he better than us, but he is better than you as far as quality. You got two type of people in the world: low quality and high quality. That's all. Okay? You can go for mid grade, like mid, you mid, ain't you? Low, mid, and high, right? You mid grade, ain't you? Hey, listen, man. You got two type of people: high quality and low quality. Now you can't go over there when you know you're a low quality person and I'm a high quality person. That's really what it is. And that's obviously going to be the reason why I separate from you. See, some people ain't bougie. You know what it is? You're low quality. That's why people don't have nothing to do with you. Because you're low quality. It's not because they bougie. It's not because they stuck up. I'm too smart to be bougie. You know what I'm saying? But it's celebrated these days anyway. But some people are not bougie. Some women are not bougie. You know what they are? They're separatists away from ratchet women. And you label them as bougie, and the truth is they're a higher quality than you. But you say they don't come around because they think they better than nobody, but they is better than you. They are better than you by quality, but not by humanity. You have the same needs to be respected. And the truth is they ain't disrespecting you. You disrespecting them. You disrespecting them, putting your mouth on them, and you know you ratchet. You know you low. You know this person got a good heart and good mind and head on their shoulders usually, but you trying to but you don't like how they move because they avoid the ratchetness. They avoid the foolishness, and you indulged in the foolishness. See, these are the problems that white people don't understand. Like light skin against dark skin against light skin. That's a problem going. I talked to one white man. He was like, "Oh, I didn't know that." Well, light skin and dark skin people got problems. Yeah. Yep. Light skin and dark skin got problems. A lot of time in the black community because it's hang-ups from both sides many times. It's imperfections, flaws on both sides, and we don't all rock together. That's why if you pay attention, you can tell. You see some dark-skinned people with dark-skinned people, light-skinned people with light-skinned people, because the problem is a lot of times with light-skinned women, dark-skinned women gonna throw shade. I'm trying to tell you, they gonna throw shade. If I had to pick, who gonna throw shade first? Light skin or dark skin? Dark skin gonna throw shade first. Yeah. Why a light skinned girl gonna throw shade? Why she gonna throw shade on you? When she gets more, let's keep it 100. She gets more privileges in the community. She gets to go into doors that white girls go into. Why would she be jealous of you? Talk about it intelligently. Okay, you might be a little more authentic as far as being black. They might look at it that way. Some people might look at it that way. She might feel a little insecure about being more African than you. But other than that, in as far as privileges in bags, why would she be jealous of you? So the truth is, I hate to say it because the light-skinned woman and men are a little more complex, right? That's where the jealousy, that's where the shade get thrown. That's what it is. When you got the average light African is kind of dark skin, brown skin. Okay, so what's going to be the out of average? What's going to be different? The light skinned person. They're from Africa. The light skinned person going to be a little different. Okay, so you don't think people going to throw shade on them? Of course. That's what, and women go through it in their own family with their dark skinned sisters. Light skinned sisters and dark skinned sisters don't get along. Because you insecure about being dark skinned. Because you think she get all the boys. You think because she light skinned, that's when she getting by on being light skinned. Oh, it goes deep all the way back to the old school. Sisters and way back. Your grandma got hated on because she was light skinned. She'll tell you all the stories how her other sisters and even her mama sometimes didn't even embrace her because she was lighter than everybody else. Something that's out of her hands, that's what I'm talking about. So see, white people don't know this. Black people know this. If you're from the South, if you know black people, light skin and dark skin is all type of issues and insecurities and hang-ups. Where even sometimes some light skinned girls, they get so tired of black people, they just go gravitate towards white girls. Because they gonna get treated better. They ain't gonna see the hang-ups. The hang-ups ain't gonna be there. Where people throwing shade for no reason. You come into a room full of black women and you the light skinned girl, they gonna throw shade, bro. That's how it is sometimes. Is it like that every time? No. But it's an ongoing issue. And with light skinned men, we go through being considered weak. Like like dark skinned men are stronger than us. Are they harder than us? And particularly with men, oh, they're more authentic. This is a more authentic African as opposed to you. And you could be more of an African than he is. By your principles, rules, and regulations. And if you the right type of light-skinned person, you done been played with so much, you harder than the average person. Because you done been challenged more because you light-skinned. And the person that dark-skinned got embraced by everybody. So that be the person that kind of like, corny. It could almost be corny. Because you're used to getting embraced by everybody. The light-skinned dude gonna go through more challenges. Being challenged by people. Being challenged to be authentic. Being challenged as a kid, as a black person. He gonna go through more. So who you think gonna be harder? He gonna be if he plays cards right, he gonna be tougher than you. Because he got challenged more when he was in the hood. That's why some of these light-skinned girls, same thing. They gonna get challenged more and they gonna be tougher. That's why I always say there's three types of light-skinned girls. Light-skinned women. The normal light-skinned girl, the punk, and the crazy light-skinned girl. And some black people ain't aware of the crazy light-skinned people that's been challenged all their life. So by the time you meet one, it might be too late. You might be in trouble because you didn't realize that person got challenged all their life. You know what I'm saying? And they became an animal. You got some light-skinned girls that's animals. And you think, oh, she's so cute. Rip you apart. Carry blades, all that kind of stuff. Same thing light-skinned dude. You think he cool, he a little Casanova or something like that, right? Little Romeo. Dude is 100. You know what I'm saying? An animal. Because you didn't know his story. You know what I'm saying? You're not complex. You're not complex of you as a human being. You're simplistic where you think light-skinned dudes is all soft dudes. You go with stereotypes of the culture. Then you mess up and find out all light-skinned dudes are not created equal, so to speak. They don't have the same experience. They don't come out the same. They don't become the same thing. You got some light-skinned dudes, animals, because they've been pressed and challenged. So then what's going to happen with a person being pressed and challenged? He's going to become an animal if he plays cards right, while everybody else fitting in and corny. You know what I'm saying? And that's the main one that ain't got no pressure on him. He going to be corny, which is the big dudes, the big dark-skinned dudes. You got embraced by everybody, you're going to be a little bit corny. While you pay attention to the light-skinned dude, ain't nothing wrong with him. He done been challenged. He done been halfway rejected by his people all his life. I went through it. My mom went through it. You get this rejection that white people don't know about. They don't know about this. Well, I didn't know. Light-skinned black people were rejected by black people. Dark-skinned black people, yes. Bob Marley is a perfect example. If you think it's just limited to USA, Bob Marley was called a white boy when he was a kid, when he was young. The Jamaicans called him a white boy. That's not the real history? That is the real history. They called Bob Marley a white boy. Did white people know that? Oh yeah. They called him a white boy. Okay, so this goes beyond even America, man, where even Africans have these hang-ups. Because I'm gonna tell you what it is. Because like I said, the light skin is gonna be different, and people take different as weakness, and they challenge it. So Bob Marley became tougher, better, than most other people in Jamaica. Because he was light skinned, and they called him a white boy. Now look at the legacy he made. You know what I'm saying? Look at the legacy he made. They called him a white boy. That's what I'm stuck on right there. Cool and authentic and African as he was. They call him a white boy. So if they call Bob Marley a white boy, if you light skinned, they ain't gonna call you no white boy. Of course they are. And my thing is, Bob Marley wasn't even that high yellow. He wasn't that high yellow like that. He wasn't. He probably thought about it too. I'm not that light skinned. But you know, they call him a white boy. Do you think, did Bob Marley look like a white boy to you? Not to me. But compared to extremely dark skinned people, they call him a white boy. I guarantee you that's who was doing it. It was light skinned people, brown skinned people calling him a white boy? No, that was dark skinned people in Jamaica calling him a white boy. So you can go look up the history if you don't know as white people. You can go look up the history on Bob Marley where they was calling him a white boy. See, you didn't know this. This goes so deep into the African community that it's outside of America. Okay? So that makes everything more complex as far as these wars and everything, because people have worldviews that they don't like you anyway. If you're kind of light skinned, they kind of reject you anyway. They want a problem with you anyway, see? So we have our own form of racism in the black community, which is more times than not, dark skinned people are racist against light skinned people. That's what it is. That's going to be the main thing. That's going to be the main thing. Girls being mistreated in their own family. Yeah, she's so high yellow. Come here. Throwing off on her. Always talking about it. She's so light skinned. You know how many black women just hated their own family because your sister is light skinned. You had all these hang-ups because she looked better than you to other people. See, how I feel is all complexions are beautiful. Okay? All complexions are beautiful. You know, and that's what it is. You know, but who gonna have the hang up? Even starting from the very beginning on the plantation. On the plantation, who you think hated on each other first? The light skin, the house nigga, or the field nigga? The field nigga, because he seen the privileges that the house nigga was getting. Because the slave owner considered him part of his blood. So he kind of embraced him a little bit. He had enough honor to embrace his mulatto son or daughter by bringing them into the house. Right? Right. So who you think, if you had to call it, who was hating on each other first? Light skin or dark skin? Dark skin because you seen all the privileges. And then after the plantation, you were still hating because light skin was getting more privileges. In society, white people was embracing these light skinned men and women. So we was always being hated against way more, and see, when you look at among each other for no reason kind of stuff, like for no reason, light skinned people was hated on for no reason, bro. All the time, pretty light skinned girls. Go ask a pretty light skinned girl how was high school and middle school. She gonna tell you what y'all call junior high up here. She gonna tell you she went through stuff with dark skinned girls. I guarantee you. More times than not, she went through stuff with dark-skinned girls. It's an ongoing issue, and I'm aware of it. I've been aware of it. I've heard so many stories. I'm very aware of it. Light-skinned women get hated on so much it ain't even funny. Light-skinned dudes do too, but it manifests differently with light-skinned dudes. They think the dark-skinned dudes think they harder than you, tougher than you. They think they more authentic as African than you. That's what it is. But then what happens is through the challenges, you become an animal. You become somebody they can't try no more. They started out trying you, then found out. So that's common sense. You keep playing with somebody that's light skinned. I mean, they can be broken. That's why they consider some of us weak. And the really truth is, you're not weak. They not weak. They was broken from all the different rejection over the years. So then by the time they grow up or get a certain age, you're going to say they weak. Nah, what it was, they was rejected, they was mishandled by black people. That's how they became what you might think is weak or weaker version. If they had been left to themselves, they would have looked just like you. Go to Africa, you can see light-skinned African strong men, robust, bouncing around, because probably it's less of those type of hang-ups over there in Africa, I would imagine. They're more careful about that. You know, wouldn't over here we ratchet, ignorant, all of that, man. So you got three types of light-skinned people. Normal, just nothing there. Then you got two other extremes. Broken, punk, and then you got crazy. Where you ain't gonna really try some of these light-skinned dudes, because I mean, you can try, but you're not aware of his history. You're not aware of how much he's been challenged. You know what I'm saying? That made him an animal. You know what I'm saying? So that's really how it is. If you don't know, if you're on the outside, that's how it is, man. But like I said, there's two types of people. High quality and low quality people. High quality and low quality. Right? And I can't be made equal with you because you're low quality. And you gotta tell many black people, you ratchet, you ghetto, and I can't be equal with you. Now, I can be equal with you as far as humanity, where we have the same needs, and the needs to be respected and given peace when we walk down the street, right? When we walk down the street, we both have the need of peace and being respected, right? Right. You have the need for food, water, just like I do. That's where we're equal. That's where we should be treated as equal. That they give you food and they give me food. They give me water and they give me water. They give you peace and pardon and respect when you walk down the street, and they give me peace, pardon, and respect when I walk down the street. That's equal. That's equality. Your same needs are being met throughout humanity, which makes common sense, which makes perfect sense. Okay, that's where we're equal. That's the equality that we're all fighting for, is to be equal with each other as far as our needs being met. Your needs are not more important than mine as black people, and my needs are not more important than yours as black people. Okay, but where it gets tricky, if I'm high quality, people are going to put my needs first. Boy, that's it right there. That's 7 hours. If I'm high quality and you're low quality, who needs as far as humanity are they going to put first? My needs for respect and pardon and peace and food and water, or your needs and you're a low quality person? They ain't going to put your needs for humanity first. They're going to put my needs for humanity first. So if you're a low quality person, extremely, none of your needs get met by society. And then you just go around crying to everybody But the reason why your needs are being met, why you're not treated equal, because you're low quality. Listen, we all have the same needs as humanity. But you try to manipulate because you know you're a low quality person. So you sitting out there on the block, yeah, he think he better than us. Let's just go outside a race where it's one of these big head white, redneck white girls that's low quality. Not all redneck white girls is low quality, but let's just go for the ones, you know, the ones try to be down and everything with the big old foreheads. Them big head bipolar looking white girls. You know what type I'm talking about. Stop playing. Them big head white girls, they be talking all the time, don't they? Yeah, he think he better. You know what I'm talking about. They at the gas station talking. Yeah. What's going on? They mouth big as it is, ain't it? They trying to be down. They be talking all the time, and they try to act like they 100. Yeah, I said I was gonna do. I'm gonna do this about. They act like they 100 about everything, don't they? Hey man, you know what type of white girls I'm talking about. Now that kind right there. Let's slow down. She'll get among other black people, right, that's butthurt about me, and she'll side with them, right? And this white girl will say, oh, he think he better than us. See the punchline? You know I'm right. You know I'm right. Oh, he think he better. He act like he high and mighty. He act like he high and mighty, right? This is a white girl. This is a white girl. He act like he better than us. But what she doing is she Jedi mind tricking the novice that doesn't understand who's better far as quality and low quality. See, the novice gonna say, well, how you carry yourself, you can see it's better than this person. You can see I'm a better quality person. But you Jedi mind trick yourself by thinking, I think I'm better than her because I'm a higher quality. I'm just a higher quality. How that make it seem? See, some people gotta hang up like that. You ain't done nothing for them to think that. You just projected yourself as a high quality person. You articulating yourself properly, using proper English, and they took you as a person to think you better than everybody. And all you did was project high quality. That's it. And a low quality person will come in and say, he think he better than us. But it's because, this is the punchline, it's because you detect, your intuition shows you that person is a higher quality than you. He actually is better than you as far as quality. But you're too stupid to know the difference between being better than somebody as far as quality and then being better than somebody as far as humanity. So you put it as humanity, as to say this person think he better than us, to say his needs is before everybody else. I never said that. I don't feel like my needs are before. You can hear my worldviews. I feel like the world should be made to where we all can get money, right? So that shows you right there. See, worldviews show you everything. Once you see somebody's worldviews, you have no excuse to be ignorant of somebody. That's why I listen to everybody. I don't assume anything. And you know what they say, when you assume, you make a out of yourself, right? Okay, so I don't assume anything. Okay, so with that being said, when you're high quality, this low quality person gonna say, they gonna feel that you better than them, but they don't know how to place it. You talk, you move, you got personality, you know how to talk to people, you know how to get money, you're a jack of all trades, you know how to do things, but they'll say, he think he better than us. But the truth is, you're not smart enough to realize he is better than you as far as quality. And that's not his fault. But you're putting it to others as if he think he's better as far as humanity. And that's how people tell, he think his needs is better than us, and we don't need to get money like he do. That's what you're insinuating. I think I'm better as far as humanity, like my needs and for respect and food and honor and all of that is is above yours. Your needs for food, water, and pardon and peace when you walk down the street, and respect, right? Never insinuated. So see, when somebody don't know that there's low quality and high quality people, what low quality black people will do is say you think you better than them. But the truth is, I am better than you. You know how? Because you're low quality and I'm high quality. That's how I'm better than you. I am better than you as far as quality. You're low quality and I'm high quality. And you try to Jedi mind trick on quality as far and equality as far as humanity. Equality as far as humanity. You try to Jedi mind trick, whereas if I'm carrying myself in a way where I think my needs are above your needs. To get food, money, bags, and respect, right? Never insinuated. But you'll go tell other people, these low quality black people will go tell other people he think he better than us. But it's never insinuated. Only thing insinuated is quality. Higher quality of thought. Higher quality of life. Higher quality of perspective, which means I'm higher quality than you. And particularly with black people, you gotta put that in check. Because you get around a whole bunch of low quality people, and what they want to do, dumb you down. That part, women go through it all the time. High quality trying to hang out with the homies, and you know what? You can't do it, can you? You can't hang around these low quality women, can you? No, you can't. That's 7 hours. No, you can't. No, you can't. You know why? Because they gonna hate on you and eventually turn it around when you think you better than them. They gonna wait for flaws and what you got as a human being. You're gonna have flaws. They gonna wait for it and say and indicate that, which is no indication that you think you better than them because you got flaws. But they gonna look at that, put with your high quality, and say you think you better than them because they gonna put you under more pressure because you got high quality. They gonna put you under more observation because you're a high quality. They gonna hold you to a double standard because you're high quality. Now, anybody that's ratchet and a bum, they gonna overlook them. They gonna overlook them. That's how they are. They don't say that about you. Oh, that's how she is. They don't say that about you, do they? They hold you to a whole different standard because you are high quality. You don't leave tissue on the floor, do you? You ain't no dirty person where people can see your dirt all in the bathroom. They don't see your trash all on the floor like you retarded. Right? They can't find detect no uncleanliness about you. That's just abnormal. But other people act like you think you better than them because once you see them leave trash everywhere, you don't want nothing to do with them. Because I already know you a low quality person if you can't even clean up behind your own butt. You got tissue all over the floor, I don't want nothing to do with you. That's how I feel. Yeah, this is talking about where I'm living at right now. If I see trash everywhere and all this that come from you, I don't want nothing to do with you. Because you are a low quality person. Do I think I'm better than you? No. I have the same needs that you have and you have the same needs that I have. But you a low quality person and me and you ain't gonna never be friends. Me and you ain't gonna never be friends. Why? Because I think I'm better than you? No. You a low quality person and it ain't gonna work out. See, the truth is, you can only bounce off of high quality people if you're high quality. It ain't gonna work, man. Or they gotta understand their position. If you're high quality and they're low quality, they have to understand it. Where you can make them better. You can make them come up. You can make them a better person. But if they try to play it and play themselves like they on the same level as you and they high quality, and you can tell how they think and they words, it ain't gonna ever work. Because it has to be established between you and them in that situation that you're high quality and they low quality, and you can help them come up and be a better person. But see, you got to check people in order for that to happen. And then when you do that, it's going to get worse. That they think they going to say you think you're better than people. But you are higher quality. That's all it is. So, that applies to every people, every race of people. You got low quality and high quality, man. And I'm going to tell you, the main ones be out there talking about this kind of stuff. That somebody hate or think they better than people. You know who's going to be doing that? You ain't going to even really hear a high quality person say that. I ain't going to really say somebody think they better than somebody. I don't know. I don't really care about that. But the only ones that gonna be talking about that is low quality people. You know why? Because they gonna see a whole bunch of high quality people, and they know that's not them. They gonna see it on TV. They gonna see it in the music. They gonna see it in entertainment. They gonna see it on. They gonna see it everywhere they go. They gonna see high quality people with jobs. They go in the grocery store. They see high quality people, and they gonna know. They can try to fake it, but they gonna know they low quality. You gonna know you low quality, and you surrounded by a whole bunch of high quality people. So they be the ones out there talking all the time, ratchet, talking all the time. Pay attention, because they know they low quality. Think about it. They see all these people everywhere all the time. You don't think you gonna just notice that they're a higher quality than you, how they talk and how they carry themselves and their mindset. You gonna notice it. That's why they be walking around like that all the time, because they're faced with their low quality. When they see other people, they're faced to see it, but they ignore it, don't they? That's what they do. They ignore they ignore that, and they ignore their own behavior, and they become worse. That's the truth. So see, that's the real way you need to hear it. See, white folks, like I said before, you shouldn't even be in black politics, because you don't know no better. You don't know about all this stuff I just talked about, light skin, dark skin, all this stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't call it like that if your life depended on it, man. If your life depended on it, you couldn't tell us all I just told you. No, about light skin and dark skin. A white person can't do that. Imagine that. Imagine them telling you what I just told you. That's how you know I'm black, buddy. It's more than one way to figure out anything, man. That's what I explained. It's more than one way to figure it out. If you simple, you look at one way to figure out anything. I look at more than one way to figure out anything. Like me and my sexuality, when I'm with all these women all the time. I got a kid in the world that's 18 years old. I can look at that and know who you are sexually. I don't need to try to figure you out mentally. I'm going to look at that you got a kid in the world. I'm going to look at you been married. I'm going to look at you literally been married on paper. And you divorced your wife. I ain't got to go and try to figure out your mind. You a low quality person too. You didn't think so? What? Oh, because you got a little gift, a little spiritual gift. That's 7 hours. Listen, man, you a low quality person, man. You can't even see that somebody is a normal person and they got a kid and they've been married. That's retarded to me. How you gonna look at somebody that got married and got a kid in the world and been functioning with all these women? I mean, and I hold women down like a man, which means I am also a companion to women's emotions. When many men are not built like that. You can't handle a woman emotionally. I handle grown women emotionally. I can show you men right now that got money and they can't handle their women emotionally. They can't handle their women intellectually. She's over his head intellectually. He's dumb as a bag of rocks, but he can work and he can have sex. But he's dumb as a bag of rocks and she knows it. But she loves him. Okay? Many of you are just low quality, bro. And that's all it is. And listen, white people can't make no excuse for you, and other black people can't make no excuse for you, and other Africans can't make no excuse for you. And if you're not black or African, if you're in America, no, you're another one. We can't make no excuse for you. If you're low quality white people, you're low quality. Okay, but you talking about equality, and you want somebody to treat you like everybody else, but you low quality. So like I said, when you're low quality, people stop caring about your needs. All these white people, we don't care about their needs if they're low quality. Why would I care about your needs? See, that's the tricky situation. We all have the same needs as humanity. Like I explained, that's where we're equal. But when you're low quality, we stop caring about it. Who cares about their needs? Who cares about their lives and what they're doing? You stop caring about their needs because they're low quality. And drum roll, you stop caring about America because of its low quality. You stop caring about a whole country because it's low quality. And you can talk about them being equal with other countries all day long. You can talk about all you want to talk about America. You can talk about all you want to talk about America. And guess what? When you're low quality, we no longer care about your needs as a community. And that's what you project right now. Even now as I speak, all low quality. That ain't got nothing to do with being hard from the streets. And see, with the gang stalkers, they'll act like they tough. No, you ain't tough, buddy. You low quality. That's somehow. Because that's why you got to play the ratchet games. You see what I'm saying? See how they got to manipulate? Because you're low quality. I'm high quality. I showed you was marrying children. That part, you'll never get that kind of information on me, little buddy. Yeah, that part. And I found out you having sex with animals in Virginia. When did you pull up any real receipts, real details? Like we was talking about yesterday. What are details? What are details of what I did? I got details on what you done. And that's the difference between a high quality person and a low quality person. Y'all have sex with animals in West Virginia right now. Y'all marry children in 34 states of America right now. That's how you do it. And that's how a high quality person do it. That's how a high quality person does it, buddy. You're a low quality. I figured it out. Half these gang stalkers, all these people joining the Freemasons and other secret societies, you joined them because you was low quality because you couldn't get it out the mud for yourself. So then all they got is a whole bunch of low quality people trying to mooch off of the fraternity of Freemasons and mooch off other secret societies. You're just a mooching person that's a low quality person. That's why your best efforts is still low quality. Too much truth, ain't it? That's what I'm talking about. All these low quality people in America. That's the real problem right now. And that goes all the way up to politics. That goes all the way to the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. All these low quality people. They go to straight people and gay people and lesbians. All these low quality people. Ain't got nothing to do with your sexual orientation. You are a low quality person. That's what the problem is. Think somebody talking about you being gay and lesbian all the time. You know what we really hung up on? If you pay attention, you know what the real insinuation is? You are a low quality person. That's what it is. You're a low quality person. And you're going to Jedi mind trick and manipulate to make it seem like we think we better than you. But the truth is, for whatever reason, you have been detected as a low quality person. And so all you're going to do is retreat behind being black. You're going to retreat behind being gay. You're going to retreat behind being bisexual. You're going to retreat behind being a lesbian or a tranny. But that's the camouflage from really realizing that you're just a low quality person. Boy, that's good. Woo! And like I said, America, listen, buddy. Listen, all the stuff you're doing, look how they complaining about you in Venezuela. Look how they going to the UN. Look at all these other countries complaining. You are a low quality community. Your community is low quality. And it's almost an oxymoron. All this money, all these different things they got, and they low quality. See, that's your demise. Your demise is your low quality. All the way up to the White House, low quality. Democratic Party, low quality. Even though they act like they for us, low quality. Republicans, low quality. Governors, mayors, low quality. Senators, mayors, senators, low quality. Congressmen, low quality. See, your demise is your low quality. And guess what, buddy? Nobody can vouch for you. I can't. Nobody can. In fact, people are going to vouch against you. That's what's going to happen. And that's what's happening. You know what's happening? People are vouching against you. They're vouching against you. The UN, they just went to the UN 4 or 5 days ago. They just went to the UN. They just went to the UN. They just went to the UN. You're a low quality community, buddy. See, I'm gonna tell you what did it. Full circle. 360 to my point. Low quality white people and low quality black people. That's who did it, buddy. I guarantee, if you go to any of these situations that the UN is talking about, you think you're going to find Chinese people in America? You think you're going to find Native Americans, what they talk about, what Venezuela people are complaining about? It's white Americans that's low quality. And after that, it's black people that's low quality. I'm prioritizing it, right? On each issue. On each issue. On each issue, right? Okay, so with black people, we doing the most killing. When it comes to these politics like being down, blowing up boats in Venezuela, it is the white Americans that's prioritized as the highest, no pun intended, the highest level of low quality. What's going on with that? Why everybody complaining about it? If it's high quality, why everybody complaining? Well, if it was high quality, it would be hard for standard people to understand. Why is it all hard for us to understand? You know why? Because you're low quality. It's not because you're sophisticated. It's not like because you know something we don't know. Because first of all, being a drug dealer is not a death sentence. The last time I checked, then they deserve to stand trial. You have to produce evidence out the boats. How we know? We gonna take your word for it? We don't. We don't take your word for it. I guess you thought you had that much credibility, didn't you? Well, not under the Trump administration. Not under the Trump administration you got that much credibility where we just know that you know something. No, we want to see it. We want to see receipts from the Trump administration. Out of all the administrations, we want receipts. We want, you know what you should do? See, this is how a high quality person would do. Let me tell you what I would do, buddy. If I was in your shoes, buddy. Listen, buddy, let me tell you what I would do. If I was just out of the blue, this is how you done it. Out of the blue, I just want to go out to drug dealers. I just want to go out to drug dealers out of the blue. That's what I want to do. Out the blue, I want to just go out to drug dealers. If I was doing that, if I chose to do that, what I would do is have, at some point, I would have to let certain boats just go. If I detected, let's just say, I seen a pattern of what I've considered drug boats through surveillance, right? And I seen them coming to and fro. I gotta let them go. I gotta let them fly, right? But what I'm gonna do, because I can't approach them, I'm not in a position to approach them, right? So what I'm gonna do, once I see in the Caribbean that it seemed like some boats come through, I gotta, on principle, high quality principle, I gotta let them fly. Once I see it through surveillance, right? Now, I've seen it, what I think is a drug boat. Don't know for sure, because I mean, this is the Caribbean. I mean, boats do go down water, bodies of water. I mean, there are boats on bodies of water. So just on boats, see what I'm talking about? Oh, just because a boat is on the body of water, it's a drug boat? Bro, you see how that sounds? The Caribbean has boats on the bodies of water. So what I have to do, once I think it's some drug boats on the water, on bodies of water, which boats are going to be on bodies of water. I can't stress that enough. Boats are going to be on bodies of water. That's what happens. You go to a lake with a smaller body of water. What you see on the lakes? Boats. Boats is on the lakes. What you see in the ocean? Boats. I'm not the smartest man in the world, but bodies of water these days in the modern time. These days in the modern time, buddy, boats are on the bodies of water. We worked up as humanity to producing boats. You know that, don't you? we create boats now. We're now creating boats. Okay, so boats are going to be on the water, ain't it? So I can't just act like every boat is a drug boat. Based on the strength of boats is going to be on most bodies of water. Right? Right. Right. You telling me all them boats they blew up, all of them were drug boats? I don't think so. That's the bottom line. I don't think every single boat. Nope. Don't think so. Nope. No. Not every boat. And that's all it takes, right? One boat blowed up unjustly. That's all it takes, buddy. That's all it takes to get the ball rolling. That's all it would take to get the ball rolling with you. As Americans, if one boat blowed up, one American boat blowed up, you won't hear the last of it, will you? You won't hear the last of it, will you? So what I would do, if by way of surveillance, I seen maybe abnormal travelings of boats through waterways, what I would do is I would put a team in place to not fly above and throw bombs down on the boats. I would put a team in the water, military team, that could operate to pull over the boats. When they pull over the boats, they arrest and apprehend the people, and they get the drugs out the boat. All you had to do was put military or authorities on ground level, on the same level with the boats, to corner the boats, to block off the boats. Even if you gotta shoot the bottom of the boat to kind of stop it, okay, boom. Why you can't do that? You could take a, you know how they got caliber, some type of like high caliber guns or rifles on these boats. It's like bolted into the boats. Use the boat guns, rifles to shoot at the bottom base of the boat. You see how I say I'm militarily inclined? Yeah, I'm a natural soldier boy. I would shoot at the base of the boat, and that boat is gonna fall. I'm gonna hit it good. I'm gonna hit the base of the boat. It ain't gonna hit nobody. I'm gonna understand how the boat has a lower level, which it does, and with that understanding, I'm gonna hit it at the right place, based on most models. That, you know, I ain't gonna shoot through the boat and shoot people. I'm gonna shoot somewhere on that boat, and we're gonna break it down where to shoot on that boat to where I'm gonna basically sink that boat. I'm gonna put it out of commission. I might even shoot the motor. I might try to shoot the motor. We find out what the motor's at, which is probably in the front of the back. Okay, boom, we're gonna shoot the motor. That boat's out of commission, buddy. Absolutely. And see, that's how competent you're supposed to be. You shoot the base of the boat that the boat floats on, somewhere where you won't shoot people in the boat. And you shoot the motor, which it shouldn't be hard to find with people that are competent. Which most model boats, you should kind of get an idea what a motor gonna be. You shoot the motor, you shoot the base of the boat, you got the water coming in the boat, you pull it over with no problem. Now, you make the people stand trial, and you got the drugs to show everybody. You put it on a big table, on a big banquet table, you got all the drugs to show everybody. You know, and everybody's satisfied. Okay, boom, okay. You got the guys, you got the drugs, okay. We walk away. We start growling, then we walk away. We lick our lips, we start growling, lick our lips, and walk away. But when you have missiles that drop and we don't know, we don't trust no Americans, no. We don't trust you. You just knew. See, that's how these same witchcraft and gangsters, oh, they just know we are pedophiles. Why you know? You're no different than these people dropping boats on me. Oh, we just know what we know. Oh, just like Trump them. Blowing up boats and stuff, and there's no evidence, but you just know what you know. That's no different. You try to destroy our credibility and got no evidence of it, but you talking about you just know what you know. You no different than these arrogant Americans. Low quality. Because if you was high quality, listen, you have credible receipts, buddy. Listen, I got my receipts lined up. You married children in America. That's my receipt. You got dog sex in West Virginia. You got sex with Rover in West Virginia. You can have sex with dogs in West Virginia, and you won't get locked up. You can have sex with Fido, and you won't be locked up. Sex with Fido, and you won't be sex with Fido, and you won't be locked up. You're not. See, listen. See, if you practice being high quality, it won't be a problem. The problem is, people practice high quality only when it matters. You practice high quality from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. And so when the right people see you, you get promoted. When the right people hear you, you get promoted. You know why? Because now high quality has been practiced. It's second nature to you. But see, the problem is, when you try to put on high quality and you've been low quality, low key your whole life, you wake up low quality, you go to sleep low quality. Listen, when you try to act high quality, people going to shred through it. You're going to shred through it yourself and show your whole true colors, how low quality you really are. See, that's how it's done. That's how it's done. Ain't nobody racist. It's high quality and low quality. That's all it is in the world. And you can see it all the way up to your government. Bombing all these people, killing all these people. Them people with families. Them real human beings. And like I said, being a drug dealer, the last time I checked, that's not no death penalty. No. And on that, and this is my thing. On that little boat, could you ever have enough drugs to produce the death penalty? Even if it's fentanyl, you got enough fentanyl for you to get the death penalty? Well, I don't agree with that. I think at most, you can have enough fentanyl to get maybe a life sentence. I go with that. But preferably, I would go about 50 years, actually. I give you about 50 years because that's going to be most of your life anyway. I would give you about 50 years for a significant amount of fentanyl. What they call fatty on the West Coast. So for fatty, I give you I'll give you 50 years. But am I gonna kill you because you got fentanyl? No, I'm not gonna do that. But see, that's a white bias. That's a white boy bias where I just killed me a drug dealer. It's a white boy bias where I just kill him for having fentanyl. And I keep blowing up these people. See, you remember in the beginning, Trump talked about, oh, well, yeah, we going to blow them up. They're going to be really dead. Do y'all remember that sound bite? They're going to be really dead. I mean, really dead. That's what he said. Pertaining to referring to these boats and all of that. They're going to be really dead and really dead. See, only a white boy is going to talk like that. A black man is going to say, selling drugs ain't no death sentence. Am I being biased? No, I'm being reasonable. You can say we understand it a little better, the whole ins and outs of it. And we are not going to conclude with understanding the ins and outs of drug dealing because the addict is the problem. The drug dealer is only feeling the demand for the drugs. So if you're smart on a higher level of IQ, the problem is not the drug dealer, the problem is the addict. Well, if I got drugs and there's no addicts, who I'm gonna sell the drugs to, bro? Or I'm gonna just pose up like a drug dealer, look cool like a drug dealer with a whole bunch of drugs, but I can't get it off. Can't get it off. The drug addicts makes the drug game and the drug trade. If nobody was buying, check this part. If nobody was buying fentanyl, nobody would be selling fentanyl. If nobody was using fentanyl, who got them on fentanyl? They got their cell phone fentanyl. That's a 7 hour. He got his cell phone fentanyl. Tell Trump they got their cell phone fentanyl. Hey, you went out there and got your cell phone fentanyl, buddy. Okay, so I'm going to be a little bit more reasonable with understanding the drug dealers that just feeling the demand. I'm not saying it's right, but if he know people doing this particular drug, you looking at it like he just want to kill these people. No, he don't. You know what he want to do? He wants to feel the new demand for a new drug, buddy. That's what he want to do. Fatty is on fire right now. Fentanyl is on fire. So you telling me ain't no drug dealers going to be a little more zealous about selling fentanyl? Of course. But you're looking at it like he has the intention to kill the people. You might as well say that. And it ain't always gonna kill the people. Back to the addict. If the addict know what he's doing, he's not gonna die. It's a high possibility for a drug overdose, but listen, it's all in his hands for the most part. In many cases. But the bottom line is, man, a drug dealer gonna feel the demand. He's gonna feel the demand, and that's what I'm gonna consider. The addicts is the problem. As long as you got addicts, you're gonna have people that feel that demand, and that's the bottom line, buddy. And you ain't, in other words, you ain't gonna get rid of drug dealers if you don't get rid of drug addicts. And the only person that's gonna affect drug addicts is the preacher. A politician can't affect drug addicts. You can affect drug dealers with throwing these laws, but you ain't getting to the bottom of the matter, the crust of the matter, which is these drug addicts. It's going to be the man of God that's going to stand up and compel them to change their life. That's why real good politicians respect the preacher, because we the ones changing the people. Look at it for what it is at face value. People come to the church, get themselves together, getting off drugs. You can talk about what you feel about religion, but the bottom line is some people hold it and look at it in the practical account. They look at it in the practical way. Literally, if you don't even believe in Christianity, the bottom line is they are people, drug addicts are changing their lives. They're getting off drugs. So do you say that's you still hold the thought it's some type of manipulation? Now, if you're a common sense real person, you're gonna look at it like this. It's not hurting somebody to be moral in the first place. It's not hurting anybody. If you're a good Christian, listen, if it's not true, you lived a moral life, so you didn't lose. If it's not true, you treated everybody good. You lived a good, peaceful life, right? So you didn't lose. So if you look at that aspect of it, where nobody's really losing from being a Christian, it's a win-win situation. Because if it's not true, I still lived a good moral life. You gamble and find out hell is real and you lost. I just lived a moral life and was respected, talked about real issues in the community, and I just fade to black. It's a win-win situation. If somebody come to your church and you get them together and they're just becoming a better person, in essence, that's what Christianity is going to do, right? That's definitely what it's going to do. It's going to make drug dealers get off drugs. Do witchcraft make people get off drugs? Using witchcraft, do they get off drugs using witchcraft? No, they don't. They probably make it worse. That's the 7 hour. You probably get worse. You could probably become a worse drug addict doing working witchcraft. So witchcraft don't clean up the streets, do it? No, it don't. I can show you where Christianity gets people out the streets. That's why they listen, which means we gonna take care of the drug addicts. That's why they respect us. Because if all else fails, right, we've made people live a better way. Especially if you know how to teach the people. So you're going with the religious old school Christianity, where some of it was taught in ignorance. Some of that stuff was taught in ignorance. Now, talk to these modern day Christians. Listen to their teachings. Yeah, that part. See, you're a simple-minded person. You think I'm some teacher from back in the day. You think I'm preaching fire and brimstone. No, listen, buddy. Listen to everybody. I would say this. Listen to every preacher with a different ear. None of us are the same, because none of us have the same experience. None of us have the same level of information either. You got to pay attention to everybody differently. I mean, you got to listen to them from a different ear. So, I'm going to change people and make them better, right? And then, listen, I'm going to be the one that stopped the drug dealers from getting the drug sale. Not the politician, not Trump them. This is why they respect us. Because we are going to stop the people from doing fentanyl. Witchcraft people going to stop them. Freemasons, Illuminati going to stop people from doing fentanyl. They probably out there doing it themselves. So that's why people defend us fiercely, man, because see, it's a person that's smart enough to even look past what we believe and see that the moral aspect of Christianity is changing the community. We the only ones. Who else is going to do it? A politician is not built to change humanity morally. A politician just hand out laws when you don't act right. When you don't act right, the politician just make laws to get you in order. The police don't change the people. They just come out here and enforce on laws when you break crimes, when you do a crime, when you break the law. They can't change the people. It's the man and woman of God that change the people. We the ones gonna change the people. Show me who else gonna change it. Rappers ain't gonna change. Rappers ain't gonna change the people. I don't care what they talk about in their albums. I don't care what they talk about in their albums. I don't care what they got on them tracks. I don't care what they spitting on them bars. I don't care nothing about what they talk about in the government and these politics. It's not gonna get interpreted as I need to get my life together. Now, if you were smart as you thought you was, you would know ain't nobody gonna interpret your rap songs as let's get together and get ourselves together. They gonna interpret your songs as let's go thug, let's get our thug on. That's how they gonna interpret your music. Even though your heart is in the right place, you gotta be smart enough to know it's not gonna be interpreted like that on the streets. They gonna turn up on your music and they gonna might hear that little stuff in there, but you rarely will find people who actually understand what a rapper is actually coming from and trying to do. What they gonna do is take the ratchet part from your music. That's what they gonna do. And then if they can't get that, they gonna just listen to the beat and be ratchet right there with the beat. Ignoring what you talking about, just a high beat. When it comes down to it, they will even go to the beat and just ignore you and just be bouncing around ratchet. Ignoring your words, listen to the beat, buddy. Because you're gonna have high beats regardless of what you talking about. Whether you talking about politics, the government, everything, it ain't gonna work. That format ain't gonna work, man. Trying to change the community. That's why somebody like Tupac, that's why everybody thought he would have been a politician. Because eventually, if you talk like that, you gotta come out of hip hop. Because it's a contradiction, first of all. It's obvious. It's a contradiction. Come on. How you gonna change the world and you a rapper talking about thug life? Come on now. Come on. Come on, man. That's how you know people was getting high, bro. No disrespect. That's how you know people was getting high. But if people live long enough, you realize, man, I can't change nothing going on. Cause see, people gonna interpret it. Your music, they gonna interpret it as thug life. And that other little stuff, okay, that made me feel good about that particular issue. But at the end of the day, overall, that's what we talking about. Overall, they gonna be talking about thug life when they get done listening to your music. That's human psychology. See, you know you coming from a right place, but you gotta understand human psychology.